Oh, Kentley, you poor girl.
Okay,
Oh,
that was
Kentley,
on stream.
You poor girl.
Okay, that was on stream.
She's never seen Star Wars, man. Why is it a thing?
That's true.
Oh.
Never seen Star Wars or Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
rough.
Like, not
Okay.
even Raiders of the Lost Ark?
I believe that's Indiana Jones, so to check my logic.
I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark isn't even like one of those. That's one of those movies that just everybody has seen. And when it first came out, it wasn't like reputation of like, this is, nerd action, kind of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, she has her master's in history too. Like, you would think that she'd be interested in it, even if obviously the history in that's like a bunch of nonsense. But like the idea of it being historical, you would think she'd be interested, but big negative.
I mean,
Indiana
is it
Jones is a
really that
documentary.
fantasy? I mean, I'm pretty sure the Ark of the Covenant has R2-D2 and C-3PO on it, right? The real one?
Oh man.
Listen,
All right.
it's a documentary.
It's a documentary, especially the last one. The last one is the truthfulest.
The truthfulest?
Yeah.
Is that even a word?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a very cromulent word. Come on.
Absolutely. Hit him with the trailer, man. or the-
I'm just waiting
what's
for you
going on?
guys to stop talking. So
Oh,
We're
I mean-
ready. We're just
we've been ready for like 10 minutes. Come on.
I'm just waiting for you guys to stop. Anyways, okay, all right.
All right, shut up, David.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Tuesday show. My name is James Chen, and I am joined once again by the inimitable Ultra David and inimitable Tubaware. How's everybody going out there?
I'm doing fantastic. I've seen all the movies that I want to see. I've seen all the TV shows that I want to see, and so has everybody I'm married to. What's going on, Tupperware?
Who is that guy over there?
I know.
Over on that side of the screen.
What's
That's a
go-
whole different. That's not. Where is David? What did you do with David, imposter?
I had a haircut, and also I shaved. I don't know if you could tell, but I had a haircut and I did some shaving. It's not completely shorn up here. Like, it's, there's a little bit of length back here, but
I was about to comment that I can barely recognize the people in the title screen, but now all of a sudden, and like, you actually look closer than you have in a long time. So
that's right. I look fantastic. It's true.
I can't take my eyes off of you, David.
Ah, thanks. Yeah. No, it's
That's that a compliment?
okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Cool. So here's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about the Samurai Shodown stuff that just came out. I guess kind of was out for some people last time, but we'll talk about it this time. Street Fighter V Season 5 so far. It's been out for a few weeks. What do you think about it? Is it broken? Is it the worst? Is it okay? Etc. We're going to have a guest on here that you may know. His name is Justin Wong, and he's going to be talking about content creation and fatherhood, and we'll hang out. We've known him for a couple years at this point. We have some interesting 5.5s to talk about. We're going to talk about what makes a major, as well as we'll see what the viewers ended up choosing. There were some cool topics in there today. There's a bit of other game news. There's a bit of other community news. There are some tournaments to talk about, and then we'll get to the mailbag. That's the little run-in show for you today, but let's start by talking about Samurai Shodown Season 3.
all right. Samurai Shodown Season 3. So the patch came out very late last night. And unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to mess with it that much because I was doing the Soul Cal distancing stream with Soul Calibur and stuff. But I have read a lot about it, as my roommate has obviously been testing it and playing with it a lot last night. So obviously the main thing is that Cham Cham is now out. Season 3 is starting for Samurai Shodown. I mean,
Yeah.
most people probably would not have guessed that Samurai Shodown would have made it to a Season 3. But here we
Come on,
are.
Matt.
And Cham Cham is out now as the first character for this. I haven't had a chance to mess with her or seen much with her yet so far, so I'm not sure exactly like how she plays or anything like that. I'll be finding out a lot more later on this week. Maybe next week I can give a more solid impression on Cham Cham. But I mean, graphically, she looks strangely adorable. Like she's like, I think I mentioned this on the show before. Like in Samurai Shodown 2, she was like really vicious and like she had an angry face on. And when she jumped on you, she just like shredded you with claws. It was like and stuff like that. And now she just looks like she's just like the cutest thing. So I don't know if it's like lore wise that since Tam Tam hasn't been changed into a monkey yet, that she's not angry about that or something, you know. The monkey that helps her fight in Samurai Shodown 2 is Tam Tam, right?
No.
Yeah. That's why when she does the thing where she points and the monkey jumps up and throws the fireball that goes up that looks just like Tam Tam's fireball, you know, like...
What?
Yeah. So the Tam Tam was turned into that monkey.
Okay. So that hasn't happened yet.
I guess not. Maybe that's what I'm assuming, and that's why she's not angry yet or something. I'm not sure. Anyways, she is far too adorable right now, but outside of Cham Cham, there are some pretty significant changes in this patch, and the number one being obviously the now added mechanic of guard break. And, in typical SamSho fashion, this is not a small thing. This is less CVS2, more Alpha 3 guard break kind of thing, where it's not like, oh hey, there's a guard break in here, so you got to be careful. Like literally, some characters do jumping heavy, standing heavy, and your next hit will guard break you. Like
really?
Yeah, wow. It is vicious. Like you're gonna have to learn how to just defend to not take any guard break damage a lot more. And I think that they're just trying to really place emphasis on the heavy buttons again, because a lot of the times you don't use the C buttons. I mean, like Corey was in my chat yesterday and he was like, yeah, Jubei's far standing C is now cancelable, so you can do da-da-da-da. And Jubei is my main character. I just played him last week when I did my online SamSho thing, and I couldn't remember what his far C was. I couldn't remember what his far C was because you just don't use far C. You never use that button in, a lot of the times when you're playing the game, because it's reactable. You can dodge it and punish it, or you can deflect it and stuff like that. So people generally don't use far C all that often, and so I think they're trying to build a little emphasis on the far C buttons again. And so and then once you land it, you can cancel, like far C's that aren't cancelable become cancelable. So you can do like far C guard break, cancel into weapon flip. I mean, and it seems like most characters can just guard break you with C and link an SSM directly. Like some characters have to cancel, like Basara has to cancel into a clone and then he can link into the SSM. But most characters can just kind of go straight through, like guard break, SSM, and then you lose all your life. Now, you can rage burst that, so it's... Okay. But it's just, it's gonna change the game a lot, it feels like. And I haven't had a chance to play any of the matches yet, so I'm not sure exactly how much, but it doesn't seem like a small change. And it seems like to me, judging from what I've been reading, that the patch notes for SamSho were not complete, and so yeah, so like I don't remember reading anything about Jubei far standing C being cancelable now, but apparently it is. So now Jubei can do back throw C into weapon flipping technique and stuff. So it sounds like people are finding out more things. Wanfu, like they said, they sped up his crouch walk, but apparently now when he crouch walks, he also shrinks in size, which looks...
I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
It looks really bizarre. So like when
it's like when Sagat shot high tiger shots at Hugo in Street Fighter 4, and they just went right through his dome.
Dude,
Yeah.
It looks just like that. Like, it was bizarre looking. Yeah.
Jubei standing B goes through Wanfu when he's crouch walking.
Like, through his head.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like, it goes through his neck.
Pretty cool,
and
though.
Jubei is just, and Wanfu is just like, yo. It doesn't even matter. It's so crazy looking. So, yeah. So, there seems to be a lot of extra changes people are finding in the game so far. I don't know. Like, I remember Cone, who's in the chat, telling me that on this Epic Game Store that Cham Cham's move list crashes the game, but I'm not sure if that actually still happens. So, you
Good
know,
work.
there's definitely some concerns right now.
So when it comes to guard break, how long is it? Does there a guard bar, or do you regain guard bar or whatever?
What's interesting about it is there's no meter on screen. It's just as
Okay.
you block things, eventually you start flashing red, like your character gets a red hue on them. When that happens, the only thing that can break your guard is standing C. Like, I think that not even crouching C, no special moves, no jumping Cs, nothing. Only standing C can break your guard at that point. And then if you do wait long enough, yeah, it does go away. So it'll like you'll
Okay.
be glowing red and then eventually it goes away. But I mean, again, it happens really, seems to happen really fast. It's dependent on the character too, as well. Some characters apparently do more guard break damage than others, and such. So
But stand C breaks it, but do the other buttons build it?
yes, everything adds. I don't
Okay.
know the values of it. I'm not sure if the A's and
of
B's
course, yeah.
add a ton, but like Iroha, I saw a clip where she did jump C into her spin move where she goes ding 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 ding, and then you're glowing red. Like literally just those two moves, jump C into that, and you're glowing red. And then she has this leaping C that will guard break you from like half a screen away and stuff like that. So it seems really scary. Now, they're really upping the importance of the just defend mechanic, because the just defend not only negates that, but also the well, you could just defend and hit the buttons and do the blowback. Like, that blowback apparently is a lot stronger now, or like has more invincibility or stuff. But I've been seeing clips where they're just like just defend and blow back everything. So even when Iroha gets the little spin thing, I think you could just defend in the middle of that and then just get the blowback anyway, right? So you're not like kind of stuck. Now, of course, the game doesn't have absolute guard, so you have to be careful of that.
Right.
If you time it wrong, you're going to get hit. It's like third strike, you know, with the red parries and stuff like that. So, and yeah, so Cone says in the chat, Earthquake's roll gets you red in one sequence. Yeah, so what's interesting about that, though, what's cool to me is that when you first looked at the patch notes, like, there was some Iroha nerfs, and you're like, what the heck? Well, I mean, Iroha was really strong, but, like, she got nerfs, and characters like Earthquake, who were pretty weak before, didn't get any significant buffs in the notes and stuff, and you're just like, this is very interesting. And Olaf kind of guessed last week, before the patch was out, that they probably took a lot of the guard break into account, and that's what it seems like right now. So a character like Basara, who hasn't really ever been strong. I mean, he's got one of the farthest standing Cs in the game because he's Basara, right? And so he's going to have the ability to guard break you a lot easier than some other characters, you know, just by hitting you from range and such. So this feels like it's a major change.
That's cool.
It doesn't feel like that this is just like a yeah, here's the next. Like, this actually feels like a concerted effort to really make the game feel very different. One of the reasons why I started the online thing is because I wanted to experience this and play it and you know, try to get back into it with the new season. And so I'll be finding out a lot more this Thursday, trial by fire, if I don't get to mess with the game before then. So
That's cool. Yeah, it sounds like, so stand Cs are unsafe, right? So
well,
if you're Earthquake or something, you do a roll and you get them red, and maybe you get punished, but then the next hit you do could be guard break.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Interesting.
Now, some characters like Earthquake have multi-hitting stances, like him and Yoshitora. So the guard break damage of the stand C apparently is more distributed between the buttons. Like there's clips of Yoshitora doing stand C and it's like block, 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 break. And then as soon as the break occurs, you can cancel it. So, oh, that's right. And then that was also another change too. But if you lose your weapon, you can't force it off screen anymore. Like, if it's off screen, as long as you're on the edge of where the weapon is, you can pick up the weapon even if it's off screen, essentially. So you can't get locked out of your weapon anymore. I think I heard it takes a little bit longer to pick up the weapon or something. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that one. But that's what I do remember reading about it, so that you can actually just pick up the weapon now. So there's no more, like, permanently disarming you and leaving you at a point where you're just like, help, and be dead, essentially.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Anything else to say about SamSho?
Tubo, you said something about a glitch or something like that?
Yeah, I saw people tweeting about some bug where you can cancel after a guard break. You can cancel stand C directly into SSM, and I think from what I read, I could be way off, way wrong. I saw like 2 tweets about it, but from what I read and what I understood, if you just do C and then hit C again and hold the button, you can cancel anything from the stand C then.
Whoa, that's weird.
Yeah, so I could be really wrong, but that's what I understood from what I read. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds like they're probably going to need another patch real soon just to tweak a lot of the little bugs that they've introduced into the game and little things like that. So, oh, dang. Come on, guys. Yeah. Apparently, in the chat, it's mentioned that data miners have figured out who the last 2 characters are, but not going to post it in there for spoiler purposes. But it's just like, at this point in time, you have to realize if you are making a game and that's going to be on PC, you have to make sure your game is scrubbed of all potential information of those characters, because if you don't, someone's going to find it, dude.
Yeah. Well, do you have any idea how the SamSho community seems to be reacting to these changes? Like, are people cool with it? Do they think it's good? Or?
Well, I think a lot of people are confused. I mean, just not sure. I just think they're not sure because it just came out last night.
Yeah.
It's really hard
confused, but they're just not sure because, like I said, it just came out last night, and so I think a lot of people are kind of soaking things in right now. So
okay.
Yeah,
be interesting.
It's really hard to test out when you can't play online. So.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean it's cool. I mean it's exciting to see, you know, and like I said, that's why one of the reasons why I'm doing the parsec thing for the game, the casuals, just because I think there's a lot of people out there who want to play. Like I've been doing the Soul Calibur one, and just yesterday. The Soul Calibur hit the largest queue ever, which was like 11 or 12 people I had in the queue waiting to play. Dude, the first day I put up SamSho, we got to like 12, 13, 14 people in the queue. And I had a bunch of people in the chat like showing up, and they're like, man, I haven't played this game in forever. I forgot how much I love this game and how much fun it is. And I saw some people like, yo, blah, I haven't seen you in forever. Like, you haven't played this game in a long time. They're like, yeah, I felt like playing it again just because. And like a lot of people were having fun with it. And so that made me really happy to see. So I'm just.
I came in your chat, James. I came in your stream. I was there. Mm-hmm. And I was so tempted to queue up. But I said, no, I'm standing strong. I will not play that game on Parsec. I refuse.
Yeah.
I wanted to so bad.
I totally get it. Like, and I don't blame you at all, because just what SNK has done with the game so far, and you know, at this point in time, having any hope for any sort of patch for the netcode, I just think is impossible. It's just not. If they're not gonna do it when season 3 comes out, it's never happening. It's not. But, I mean, this week when I do it, so, I mean, in case people don't know what I'm talking about, shameless plug, I do a Soul Cal distancing is like Soul Calibur, but on Parsec, and I put up a little token holder, and you queue up, and it's like winner stays on casuals. It's like like last week, Andy OCR. So I do one now for SamSho called SamSho Sword of Online. So it's SamSho Sword of Online. Basically, Andy OCR like started there and was just like destroying everybody, and like, you know, that's the breaks, man. That's arcade style, right? When you went to Southern Hills Golfland, everyone lost the vibe for like an hour in a row. So you got to deal with that. But that's what I'm doing on Thursday nights now. I'll probably start a little bit late because I've got another obligation on Thursday this week, but I'll probably do that again. And I'll probably have to set up 2 servers just so people don't have to wait like 1,000 hours and stuff like that for the next match. So
Alex wants you to know that it was actually more than an hour that people were waiting in line right there.
Yeah.
And also, he walked up to both hills, and there's snow on the ground, and back in my day, and all that.
Wow, it's crazy. I can barely.
Hey, thanks to Infinite N for the sub and to Outworld Television for the sub. Also, Tubbo doesn't hate that game. Tubbo loves that game. That's why he's not playing it.
I love Samurai Shodown. I absolutely love that game.
Right, and that's the hard part, though. Is
that's why I'm not playing it, guys. That's why I refuse. I love that game so much that I can't support it when the dev isn't giving it what it deserves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well, is what it is.
Yeah. If people don't remember, man, those Southern Hill Golfland days. I mean, it's just funny that Vi's in the chat talking about that, you know. But like, seriously, it was just that was the whole goal. Everybody would just sit there and try to beat Vi, and he on 25 cents he would be playing for like an hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever like that, going through the cycle all day. And it's like that's the way it works, dude. You gotta hold that in these situations. And so my whole goal for this, I'm planning to turn this into a whole thing. I might try to do one for Grand Blue. Sorry, now I'm shameless plugging myself here, but like,
it's not James. This is your stream. It's not a shameless plug.
What are you doing?
This is where you plug your shit, dude.
Fair enough.
You're not on like someone else's stream. This is yours, man. I don't know if you knew that.
So yeah, basically I'm doing the Parsec thing for Samurai Shodown, Parsec thing for Soul Calibur. So there's Soul Cal Distancing, SamSho's Sword of Online. Like, I already know what I want to name the other ones. If I did an Undernight one, it would be Overnet in Birth, you know. I would probably do, I want to do one for Grand Blue as well. I don't have a good name for that one, like Wan Blue Fantasy, I don't know, or something, you know.
WAN.
What's that?
LAN, like local area network. LAN.
Yeah, but we're not local, right?
Yeah, but Parsec makes it feel that way.
Yeah. And so I'm planning to kind of brand this as like I kind of want to turn this into a series, and I was thinking of like calling it the Farcade or something like that, you know, and just doing this like as many nights as I can, you know, and just basically I just want to bring back the arcade feel. And a lot of people have talked about how important that is when they're experiencing like the Soul Cal distancing and stuff. Like they're just hanging out in chat. We're here every week. We're just talking, having a good time. People are learning stuff, asking questions in the chat. One person even said they kind of like waiting in the queue because after they lose, they get really salty. And then after they wait for a while, they can calm down a little bit before they play again. And I, you know, I hadn't thought about that, but that was actually a really important thing that happened in the arcades. Like, you would lose and get mad, and you would talk to other people about it, and then eventually, by the time you went back there, you had level-headed, as opposed to going on a ranked, losing, getting salty, playing and losing and getting salty and saltier, and it just, like, completely spirals out of control, which, gosh, I don't know what that's like at all.
Hey man, the online experience is what you make it. I play Street Fighter V with David, and he sits there and like give me tips when I'm playing against our other pal.
Yeah,
like, you know, it doesn't have to be ranked matches. You can play with your boys.
Yeah, for sure.
I have not played very much ranked lately. I've pretty much only been playing against other people in that way, Tubbo. Yeah.
I'll have you know that I am a super platinum ranked Hondo. Okay. I'm basically a
well.
Street Fighter pro.
You're basically the expert. Thanks to Trevzor for the sub.
I'm just gonna go to
move on to the next one here.
and then stop. Yeah, let's go on to the next thing.
So Street Fighter 5 Season 5, speaking of this, so it's been a few weeks now since Season 5 came out, since Dan came out, since V-Shift has been in the game, all the balance changes that they did, and we just kind of wanted to briefly go over our thoughts on how things are going so far. Anybody want to start it off here?
Street Fighter is fun again. I mean, like, I think this season, regardless of the balance or however you want to look at it that way, I think it's more fun than last season. I think V-Shift is interesting. I like that Japan somehow still thinks Honda's weak, so they just keep buffing him.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Topanga tier list in just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I like this season so far. I think it's if Street Fighter, I think last season Street Fighter 5 for me was like a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10.
Dude,
that was probably like a 7 out of 10 game.
It was.
Okay.
It was your top. One of your top 3 games of the year, dude.
There wasn't that many games.
Okay, fair.
You know,
fair.
Like I think it's a pretty fun game now, so I'm enjoying it.
Cool. I mean, look, last season I thought was fantastic for Street Fighter 5, right? Season 5 point alpha, whatever you want to call last season now, you know.
They call it season 4, which lasted 2 years, but whatever.
Right, you know, I don't know what you'd call it, but whatever previous year was, I actually thought the game was already in a wonderful shape. And yeah, I mean, obviously the problems were like, Seth was a little too powerful, clearly, right? Yeah, but I mean, even then, in terms of overpowered characters in the grand scheme of things, Seth wasn't even overpowered, right? Like, I mean, you know, not trying to be that old man again, but God, you guys don't know what overpowered really means, you know, these days. From some of the shit that we had to deal with.
The snappers aren't balanced, and you guys don't even know.
You don't even know either, buddy.
Listen here. You're probably right.
No, you do play Blanca in CVS too, so you get a glimpse of it, but even then, not the entire way.
Great gorilla.
But like, this season, I just feel like is even better. And, you know, part of me, in some weird way, almost wishes V-Shift cost no meter. You know, like, I'm so happy that this mechanic kind of exists in the game because it finally adds a mechanic into the game. Like, obviously, it's too overpowered to be able to not cost meter because of its utility not in very tight defensive situations, like being able to get past Honda headbutts and stuff like that. It's really, really powerful tool. One, I don't have any muscle memory or brain triggers to actually use V-Shift myself yet, so it's gonna take a while before that even becomes an option in my brain. But the thing is, again, one of my complaints about Street Fighter V has always been that everything is 1-to-1. Right? Like, you beat this option by this option. You beat this option by this option. You beat this by this. And, you know, one of the reasons why I always wanted invincible DPs is because I love how invincible DPs take every mix-up and turn it into a block or a DP, you know, block or attack mix-up, you know. It turns it into a 50-50, and so there's all these different options and how they weigh together. Like, you can choose to play this RPS, or then you could choose to do this, and like, that's kind of what I like about fighting games a lot, and I think V-Shift adds that in there because the V-Shift works good against throws and meaties, and it helps you escape and all these things like that. So I just really like the V-Shift mechanic, and I'm glad they added a new defensive mechanic in there, and it wasn't just, here's your second critical art, you know, like we were all predicting. So,
it is a lot better than I thought it was going to be, for sure.
Yeah. But outside of that, too, I think the balance patch seems to be pretty good. I mean, a lot of people, for example, are talking about, you know, tier lists and stuff like that. But one of the consistent tier list things is Cammy. Is now everyone's talking about Cammy again, like she's top tier, like she's the best character in the game. And the funny thing is, she barely changed, right? And she's been good this whole entire time. And the balance really just kind of shifted everything together to the point where now Cammy is just, she's the same, but she's stronger again because Seth got nerfed, Rashid got nerfed a little bit, you know, and so I think the balance is they've done a really good job with it so far. And characters like Alex and Ryu obviously maybe a little overpowered, like overbuffed, but still, I mean, it's nice that they're relevant, you know, and I know Sagat players are happy now, and I feel like they did a really good job with the balance patch.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Topanga thing in a little bit. I'm really happy with it, for sure. I was really into the last season. It was certainly one of my favorite fighting games, Season 4. I already really, really loved it. And I really liked how there was like a very like sort of fragile way that I was worried that it would work. I didn't know that things would be like that the spacing traps would be relevant if anything changed still, that the way that you stole turns was like very like gutsy, and I really liked that. I didn't know if that would still be the same way, if you could just escape freely or whatever. And I really liked how it was. I thought it was just in an awesome state. Yeah, some of the balance was not exactly right, but it was also still pretty good. So I thought they could screw it up, and I'm really happy that it seems like they did not. I really like the state of the game right now. I think it seems like an improvement. Obviously, it's still just a few weeks in, right? We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll find some stuff that's stupid, but so far, I really, really like what Street Fighter V Season 5 is doing. The V-Shift is super cool, man. I was saying this yesterday on Twitter, but to me now, this game almost feels like it's a sequel to Third Strike in the way that I already felt like that in many ways. I already felt that the neutral game was really similar. I felt that the way that the pressure worked was really similar. There weren't invincible options. You kind of played at similar ranges. There are a few more zoners in SF5 than in Third Strike, but like it's, you know, the emphasis is on mid-range to pressure still. Like there's a lot of similarities in my opinion. Yeah. But there's no parry, obviously. And now this is not a parry, but it does give you that system mechanic that if you guessed right on, you can really capitalize really, really well with, while not getting rid of the other things that are important, right? Because it takes 1 to 1/2 of a bar or something, you know, depending on whether you guessed right, I guess. It's not something that you can do all the time. It's something you're going to do, I don't know, 4 or 5 times around, even if you're spending each V meter that you get on it, right? Like it's not going to be constant, like parrying can be if you want it to be. So you're restricted from doing it always, but that means that as a result, you do get to keep the really interesting side of pressure in Street Fighter V that I really like, and also now you get to decide that maybe you want to get out of some situation. Maybe you want your wake up now to be dangerous for the opponent, or maybe you want to react to somebody doing something reactable with your V shift so that you can punish it. Like there's a lot that goes into it now. And as somebody pressuring, you got to decide, like, not just, it's even more than are they going to do wake up invincible DP or whatever, because that's kind of who cares. You take 100 damage, and if they guess wrong, then you do 500 damage. Like it's not important. But in V-Shift, you have a mechanic that if the defender guesses right, you're taking whatever basically their max damage is, right? Like it's extremely damaging, as opposed to just eating a little bit of a DP. So I like that because it's still not going to happen all the time, but you can make that read. So it feels like it gives you more of a sort of free-form interplay while also still having the side of the game that I really liked before. So dude, I love that you can punish it. I love that it has solutions to it. I love that you can hard read around it. There's a lot of stuff that you can do to beat it. But
I mean, that was the thing. I remember before it came out, you know, a lot of people were talking about how like they felt like it was going to change. Everything was going to be super powerful and broken and everything. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like it's just going to be one of those things that you put in there that you can't abuse. And like, just judging by what I read about it, I just didn't think it was going to be abusable. And I don't know. So far, I don't think it is. I do think that there's going to be definitely some, you know, I mean, the fact that it takes away your V-trigger comeback potential, you know what I mean, I think is huge. I do agree with High Fight in the chat that there probably will be some players that will just only use the meter for V-Shift and nothing else, you know?
Like, I'm already playing that way as Dulcim. I'm only spending my V-meter on V-Shift on V-reversal. Yeah, dude, I'm not going to do a single trigger this entire year. I'm just gonna I mean, like, maybe in some matchups, right? But in a lot of matchups, V-Shift is so important, and V-reversal still, for that character because his anti-air got nerfed, and
Right.
there's a lot of things, not a lot, but there are some things that are really, really hard for him to zone out. Like, it's really hard for him to zone out versus a Honda Headbutt or an Alex Stomp or a Dictator EX Devils or whatever. Like, there's things that are obnoxious. And now he can just get out of it. Now, on reaction,
Right.
you can counter that stuff and punish it. And you can escape situations a lot. Obviously, there are counters to it, but yes, I'm definitely spending almost all my V meter on that for sure.
I know, like, a lot of people have now started putting Manat up in, like, the high ranks, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Not just the Topanga list, by the way. I've seen other people starting to throw her up there a little bit. And a lot of that is because she benefits a lot from having that V shift. Like Dalsum would have had he not gotten the float nerf, you know what I mean? Like Dalsum probably would have jumped up there pretty well too. And even in the patch notes, they're like, we made sure he did this happen because we feel like V shift would benefit Dalsum really well. They didn't do anything. Not who like doesn't even have hittable limbs.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like, wait a second.
Her triggers are so good and powerful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, Dalsums are okay, but they're not among the best.
Right.
And so it's a bummer to give them up, especially just because I really like V-Trigger too. It's really fun.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not losing terribly much. Whereas if Manat never does a V-Trigger, big bummer. Mm-hmm. Big bummer for sure. So I think that makes sense. I really like that. I would say before we talk about tiers explicitly, yeah, I think the game's in a great state. Mm-hmm. And I also am so confused by people who say that Dan's not good. It just is honestly confusing to me. I'm not like mad about it, and I'm not. Come here! It's just a confusion. I just don't get it. So I guess we'll see.
Hi,
Dan
Justin.
seems good to me. He seems super fun, but we'll see how it goes.
Hi, Justin's chat.
Hey, thanks for the raid, Justin. And we're gonna have Justin, as you can see, in an interview in just a little bit. Dan's super fun though. I mean, he's very creative. Again, I think he seems good. We'll see how that pans out. But even aside from whether he's good, like he's really, you get to be creative with him. He gets to move in well. He has fun frame traps. His walk speed's really fun. Like he's just got a lot of stuff that I really enjoy using as well.
Have you gotten the infinite down yet?
I'm not even bothering because I'm sure they're gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
So
no, I don't know.
I haven't tried it one time. I don't care.
Yeah.
It looks just fun to do anyways. I mean, if I played Dan, I would just learn it because it would be fun.
Yeah. I honestly don't even think it's that even. The only thing that I think is bad about the infinite is the ability to timer scam people. You know what I mean? Basically just do it just to waste the time. I don't even think the infinite is broken, to be honest with you. I think the infinite's fine, and I don't even think like that makes Dan super good or anything. I would almost have it so they just leave it in the game. Like, because it's not easy to do, and I think I would get hype. You know, I mean, it's for me. I mean, for people like us who during the first year Melee came back to Evo, and that community was cheering every time Wobbles landed the wobbling. You know, I think we would actually get hype over some Dan Infinites. Oh man.
Look, I'm cool with it if they keep it. I think that's fine. They're definitely not going to let it stay in, for sure. I don't know when that's going to change. The game has an update on Wednesday, but like at some point they're going to change that, I feel.
Right.
It's just...
Hang on, David. Can you repeat the last part you did just a second ago? Because my audio program crashed here real quick. So, oh shoot. Okay. Hey, David. Can you repeat the last thing you just said? Because my audio program crashed on me. So.
David's gone.
David is gone. Okay.
And my audio is gone, and David's audio is gone.
I can hear you, actually, Tubo. I can hear you, Tubo.
Yeah, well, I mean, David, like, froze out, like, his internet crashed.
Whoa, what happened?
Maybe his internet failed. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
I don't see David's green bar moving on the Discord chat at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone, dude. His camera's gone, too. His internet crashed or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why I have an echo. Is this because of... Oh, is it that? Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, okay. Now I don't have an echo, but...
Correct.
Where did David go?
I check your phone. I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay. We lost David.
Yeah, David got crush countered. He didn't have needed a V shift.
Your icon.
Oh yeah, he just dropped out of Discord. Yeah, his internet must have failed.
Okay, that's weird that happened. It's weird because it crashed on my end, but why would my audio program crashing destroy David? That's very weird.
I think it was just coincidence. I'm pretty sure it's just coincidence.
That is very strange.
I mean, that would make no sense. Your audio on your computer makes David's internet fail. Like, no, that's not real life.
Right. That had to have been a coincidence. So let's see if we can get David back here real soon. Oh, yeah, he actually said my internet died trying to reconnect.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
That is the craziest thing. It's
just a weird coincidence.
That is bizarre that even happened. Whoa. Huh.
Well, sorry guys, David's internet crashed, as you just found out.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be back. Well, hopefully he'll be back soon. If not, we're gonna have Justin on in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, so. Exactly. We'll have Justin on he'll just take over as co-host at this point in time.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, he literally said his internet died and he's trying to reconnect right now. So hopefully we'll get him back up in just a second. So, but yeah, we're gonna have to be called the Wong Chen TV show.
Yeah, I was gonna say J Chen, but that doesn't doesn't change it there.
Oh man. Right.
Wait a minute. If David leaves, why would it not become Tubo Chen TV? What if Justin gets to step in and get his name in the title? What the hell is that?
It's because it's Justin Wong, man. I mean, come on.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
It's Justin Wong, dude. I mean, it might as well just become the Justin Wong show at that point, right? I mean,
I will not stand for that.
We wouldn't need anybody else's name at all anymore. So
I always just get overlooked, guys.
Oh man, this is crazy. Poor David. Dude. I still can't believe that happened at the same time. That
was weird.
Did my audio crashing actually somehow just like... I feel like it's a TV show now where you're just like, you know what? I can destroy the enemy by hacking through their network and blowing them up, you know, but yeah, it doesn't seem possible here.
My hacking.
All right.
Hackers always type at their nose.
Oh, yeah. And also, if I was a hacker, I'd have to have the reflection of all the text on my glasses, you know, because that's the way it works. All right, you know what we're going to do? Let's go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll start with the Justin Wong interview, but we'll do that after we come back from a break. So let's see if we can get David fixed and working over here. So be right back, guys. Be right back. Okay, so I know the people at home can hear us right now while we try to wait for David here. But let's see if we can get Mr. Justin Wong into the chat at least. Justin, if you're listening, you can jump into the show calls right now where David is not. Oh, there we go. Hello, sir?
Hello, do you hear me?
Ah, yes, I hear
Justin.
you. What's going on,
What's up,
Justin?
man?
How's it
How you
going?
doing? I linked you this ninja thing.
Yeah. I got it.
It's a ninja thing. Yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah. Bro, did you see David's internet just die on us right now?
Yeah, I was watching.
No,
He just froze and then black screen happened, bro.
He doesn't want to hang out with Justin. He's dodging.
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk to you, Justin. So he was.
It's not showing my new little toy that I just got today.
What's the? Oh, you got one of those things. Dang, okay.
Yeah.
We'll show that on the stream once we actually jump back. So if we can get David here. Wow, that's crazy.
10 years on the show, and this has never happened.
10 years on it. We have like this one, and I got the Paradise one. I'm collecting
Dude,
these
look at
hitboxes,
you.
man.
Tell him to use his phone data.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, hopefully he just needs to like reset his router and he's good.
Right.
Justin, you got fiber?
Nah, we got just Canadian internet.
Canadian internet.
It works
Is that,
pretty well,
is that the name of the ISP? Canadian internet?
What's it called, babe? TELUS?
Huh?
What's it called? TELUS, the internet?
Yeah.
TELUS.
Tell us. Okay.
Canadian.
Yeah.
What's your
Like
internet?
the whole ass country has one internet company.
What's your internet company? Tell us. No, you tell us.
I didn't think about that. What's your internet company? TELUS. But yeah, just Canadian internet works fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm texting David right now, and I'm just asking if his entire internet died or something. So, trying to
What
figure
does
out.
he use? Does he use Cox Communications?
I don't think so, but that's the one that Flo has to deal with all the time, right?
You know, everybody in Vegas says Cox is so bad, but like I have never had an issue with Cox in the Vegas place I have.
Really?
Yeah, never.
But you also live closer to the city, though, right?
No, I live like super east. So
Oh,
like
really? Oh,
like yeah, buildings are not even built there. Like it's just straight land.
huh. Because I always thought that Flo like lived like in the boonies in Vegas, in Nevada or something like that. So.
Oh, he lives in the mountains, so
Oh, he does
makes
live in
sense
the
why.
boonies. Okay, okay.
that makes sense why his internet is bad. Like
Okay.
when I Uber to his place, it will take me like at least 10 minutes to try to get a signal to call an Uber because it's either one bar connection or bust.
Jesus. Holy crap. Do you know what the city is that he lived in?
Henderson.
Henderson. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Henderson's pretty big.
It's like a suburb of.
Hey, I mean, I live in Henderson as well, but I'm like closer to Vegas with the Henderson I'm at.
So interestingly enough, David says it was out before he came back. So it's part of why he showed up late to the show, and so he's not sure what's going on, but it might be ongoing. But yeah, it was just weird coincidence that his internet died right when my audio thing died. So it was.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So
Is he coming back then, or is it not working?
he says he's trying to get it to work. Let me see. Can you use your phone and tether?
Ramp up the bill. Ramp up the phone bill.
No, I have unlimited data, and I don't even use it because I don't go anywhere now because of COVID. So
That is true. I had the
just
same
go
thing. I'm
use
like,
my
man,
Wi-Fi.
I'm spending too much money on the phone when I don't really need it, right?
That's actually
Yeah.
true. I didn't even think about that. You're right. Yeah, well, I'm asking him if he can tether off his phone. If not, then we may have to try to, see if we could have Justin do a guest stint here to do like 5-5 matchup before we actually officially interview. Sorry, Justin.
No, you good.
Sorry that this happened here. Well, I mean, at the worst, David should be able to use his phone for voice chat.
Oh,
Like, that
that's
shouldn't
right.
take up too much data.
You can have like an image. You can just put an image of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we can just go floating head today. I mean,
You know how Team Spooky streams? I know BC and you have that Arturo Tinder face. It's literally just it looks like an Arturo Tinder face, and then you don't. That's it. That's
Tinder
all.
face. Oh
his
my
dating
God.
profile.
Yeah, his Tinder profile picture or whatever.
His profile would just say, yo, ugh.
Oh man. Yeah, someone in the chat said David's internet got Wong factored, so that's exactly what happened here. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I just suggested that to David to just use a voice with Discord on your phone. I'll put up a picture of you.
Yeah, my man Chupa's from Russia. K-Rat told me Russia is amazing. I want to go to Russia.
Wait, what's
Bro, I
K-Brad
do not
doing?
want to go to Russia.
What's he doing in Russia right now?
No. He went to Russia. He told me it was amazing.
Oh, that's right. He just traveled there recently, right? So yeah.
Yeah. So and they had a CPT. I was trying to go to it, but when I was looking up the process, it was like you got to get your visa and everything, and that it kind of turned me off, to be honest. So I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Huh, weird.
Bro, I'm staying far away from Russia.
Why?
Because Putin, man, I'm not going over there. Kidding me, dude? No way.
Oh man.
Also, a bunch of tourists are starting to get arrested in China, so people are starting to going to China.
Well, no one should be traveling anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, obviously. But, you know, people do anyways.
Whoa, David just got an official email from Spectrum that they have a long-term outage at their address.
Man, Spectrum. That's
But
Kizzy's.
back.
That's Kizzy's favorite internet, man.
Oh, wait,
That's
wait,
the
wait.
Top of
Spectrum's
his
terrible.
I see David's video feed again.
Hey, there he is. It's David, and he's Ultra.
Okay. Well, I see your video. Can you try OB?
Rollback isn't gonna save that.
Definitely not.
It's weird. Like, I can see David. It's weird. We have his video back.
Yeah, his internet's definitely working. Hey, there he is.
Oh, wait.
Hey, I simultaneously got an email that we have a long-term outage at my address, and also signed back on the internet. So, I don't know what to tell you. Spectrum is even worse than usual.
Hopefully it works. Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, cool.
Yo,
cool.
how can Spectrum be terrible about whether there's an outage? Like, come on.
I mean, it's probably a rolling outage. Those happen sometimes where only a certain amount of people are connected, and then they get disconnected, and you're just one of the lucky ones that got back on.
Yeah.
What a time. All right, let's get it.
Okay, so what we'll do then is we'll go over the Topanga tier list a little bit later when we get to game news then. How's that?
You got it.
All right, so let's just go ahead and come back to the show with Mr. Wong and get going. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, I may like lose connection again at any moment, just so you know.
Yeah, for sure,
We'll
for
see.
sure.
Hey, David, if that happens, you can always use your data for voice chat, right?
So I was trying to load up
Okay.
Discord, and it didn't work on my phone for whatever reason, for a separate problem. I don't know why that's existing. Anyway, let's get started.
Okay.
All right.
all right.
Well, shoot.
All right, welcome back. Oh, wait, hang on. We're back, but David is still a loading screen. Let me see
Yeah,
if I can
refresh
get
that.
him to refresh here. And pow! There we go. David has returned. There we
We're
go.
professionals here.
Yes, David has returned, and you know who else is here with us, everybody?
Hello, James.
We also have Mr. Justin Wong here on.
What is up, man?
Look at
Hey,
this.
guys.
Hey, dude, hanging
What's
out.
up?
Dude,
Hold on, I'm trying. I'm looking at the Discord stream. All right, there we go. We're good now.
I can hear Harper in the background, and it's making me feel all excited and stuff like that.
He is a menace. He's a little menace, but you know, it is what it is.
I mean, look, so much of the FGC now, I mean, we're having kids all over the place. Maximilian, when he was on our stream, you know, he has kids now and everything. And here, I mean, I was just talking about this on my own chat on how strange it is, because I still remember meeting you when you were like, what, 15 or 16, you know? And
15, 16,
15,
yeah.
and now you're
was
sitting here with a kid.
B5.
I mean,
was B5.
how
That's actually a long time ago, man. It's actually, damn. Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's like 40 years ago, dude.
No, it's like 25 years ago.
oh, man. I mean,
Or
how...
maybe it's 22 years ago, something like that.
2001.
2001.
Oh, for B5. Yeah,
For
sure. Yeah.
Not B3,
2001.
not B3. So,
That's 20 years.
dang.
20 years. Yeah.
I mean, how has fatherhood been treating you, Justin? Like, just how's it been with Harper and everything?
It's fun. I mean, she's running around, growing up, talking a lot more, trying to mimic more. Um, she's pretty much the
Throwing
boss.
stuff.
Pretty much the boss, throwing stuff. Uh, always trying to choke me while I'm streaming. So that's always nice. But
That's
overall, in
always
general, it's been a blast. I'm like always tired all the time, but I mean that's to be expected, right?
Yeah.
So, but I wouldn't even like change anything about it. You know, it's perfect.
I'm really glad that you got up to Canada, dude.
Yeah, when they changed the law about like, oh yeah, extended family members can get through, no problem. I was like, instant ticket right there. Instant.
They actually changed the law and that happened. I didn't realize that was the reason you guys go back. Wow.
Yeah, so they changed that.
Nice.
Where like if you're an extended family member, you can go. All you have to do is quarantine, and yeah, once they allowed that, done. I was out instantly.
Right. Nice.
So do you still have a place in Vegas, but you're just living in Canada right now?
Yeah, I actually have to go back in 2 weeks to actually pack all my stuff.
Oh,
Cool.
dang. Okay.
Yeah. So then once I do that and send everything, yeah, I'll be in Canada permanently.
Nice.
How has it been with her? Everybody's social distancing. Like, how is it to have a young child in that kind of situation?
We don't really go out. Like we actually stay home all the time. If we do go out, then we just take proper measures. And the only time we do go out is like we take her to a walk around the block or go to the park where like there's nobody there. But usually we don't eat out. We stay home. I would say the situation in Canada is obviously much more better compared to America, because America's America. So, but yeah, I would say the only hard part is like we can't find a way to get her to interact with other kids because obviously COVID's a thing, right?
Yeah.
So we used to have a play session where like family meets up, like random families from other groups around the neighborhood meets up, play session in the park. But then they sent like an email saying like, oh yeah, one of the moms contracted COVID, and that was the end of that.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But I mean, you have all the arcade 1-up cabinets in your place now. So is Harper learning fighting games and stuff?
She loves the baby Miss Pac-Man one. Like it's called the Countercade, and she has like this Miss Pac-Man one. Actually, have it right here. And she actually wants me to always play it every time when I'm doing some like testing. See, it's like literally like this. That's it.
Nice.
That's actually really cool.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
So she always wants me to turn it on and play Miss Pac-Man. So
Nice.
That's pretty
nice.
cool.
But I mean, everyone in the chat, I mean, you said that, she's choking you on stream and everything like that. I mean, it sounds like that means Harper is going to be a grappler player, right? So.
Oh man, I hope not.
Justin,
I hope.
yeah,
not.
I trust you to raise her correctly and not let that happen.
Hey man, one of the first games that she's been watching you play has been you using Potemkin.
The problem is that it was a while ago, like last year, and we were playing Street Fighter 4 and on stream, and she was on the joystick, and I was like, all right, pick whoever you want, and she actually like went right, left, up, some like direction, and picked Hakan. I was so angry.
Let's go. What a genius.
No.
I mean, I'm glad that Hakan Bai will never come back in Street Fighter history.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Damn, I was really disappointed there.
You're raising a little genius out there. What do you mean? That's awesome.
Yeah, I know, man. Harper is going to be... I mean, look, her name is Harper. It's got a lot of the same letters as Grappler, I mean, it's
wow.
like,
Harper sounds like Grappler. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, so that's going to be her...
You're right about that.
That's going to be her FGC name. She's going to be Grappler Harper.
Harper the Grappler.
Harper the Grappler. There you go.
The disappointed father.
Yeah, I would be too.
That sounds like a wrestling.
It does, yeah.
The girls have been AEW, WWE. Harper the Grappler comes down to the ring.
Oh, yeah.
I just imagine, when she becomes a teenager, she's just like, but Daddy, I love Zangief, and you'd be like, no, daughter of mine is gonna.
Oh yeah, if she started playing, if she started playing like and wanted to play and she picked Zangief, I will make her cry. Like I'm just gonna make her cry. I'm gonna pick some lame characters and be like, she's like, Daddy, what are you supposed to do? And I'll be like, don't pick this character. Go back to character select.
You pick a good character, Harper. That's what you do.
That's going to be her youthful rebellion, though. That's going to be every kid rebels against their parents in some way. For her, it's going to be, all right, what would really get at Daddy? Well, how could I really bother him? That's going to be going with Grappler.
It's going to be like deja vu of like the anime High School Girl, where the main character picks a Grappler.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yo, but if Harper's that nice, though, I mean, you really can't be that mad.
Until they fight that one Gao player, that's it, man.
Oh, man.
So speaking of obviously COVID and the situation where you're inside all of the time, talk to me about your experience and your kind of change of heart and how you view now playing online. The fact that we're all stuck in online play. You didn't do too much of it last year, but you're doing more of it now.
So I would say last year I played a lot of online, but just not in tournaments.
In tournaments,
Yeah. So now I feel like just judging from people's reactions and based off how people always ask me in chat, hey, I miss you. I miss seeing you play in tournaments. That's kind of like the number one comment I got last year. I miss seeing you play in tournament. Are you going to enter this tournament? Something, tournament related question of me entering. And I decided, you know what, this year I'm going to enter more tournaments, and I'm also going to enter tournaments with like obscure games, right? So I thought about like, how can I help the community by entering just tournaments in general? And it's like, well, all these guys that run tournaments for like the games that they love, right? Not Street Fighter 5 or something that they want to play like an obscure game, right? Like Dankuga or Street Fighter the movie or like these random games I never even heard about. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I'll enter it. I'll watch their stream, shout them out. I put the like little night bot if you want to watch their version of the point of view, check them out. So it really boosts their either viewership and also their tournament entries, right?
Nice.
So that's kind of like, I thought of that as like, okay, even though I don't like to enter online because the online isn't perfect for certain games, at least we have Fightcade and other games that have good rollback, and that's a good way to support the community even more because, I know a lot of people really expect it to go back to offline tournaments, right? Like Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker is like the mecca of any community could come there and have fun. So that's kind of why I want to enter these tournaments because like these guys really look forward to majors to play like poverty tournaments, right? To play like, to meet up with other people that play that game where it's not very popular. And I think if we were able to like kind of push that in terms of me entering and just having more people like get eyes on it, then it really helps their their scene to get that little push even more. So that's kind of why I entered online tournaments this year.
That's cool.
So
how has that been going?
That's good. I mean, I have a goal trying to win 100 tournaments in 2021. I'm at 31 now. So,
dude, it's March.
Yeah, I'm actually above quota right now.
Yeah, you are.
So let me be honest with me, Justin. How many times had you actually ever touched that Avengers game that you won?
That was the first day I played the game.
Dude.
So, literally, I'm watching the whole tournament, and I noticed that, okay, this guy does this strategy, and this guy's picking Vision, and pretty much the way I'm seeing how Vision works from their eyes, I'm like, oh, this is like a Captain Commando assist, pretty much Marvel 2. And then that's kind of how I adapted that, and like literally 9 out of 10 my Visions hit, and that's how I won the tournament. but the grand finals got messed up. You know why? Because he decided to pick my character that I was playing. So I copied what he was doing against me. And it just worked.
Man.
Genius.
I've seen you do that before, even before online play, of like pick up a game that you haven't played before or have played really rarely and win a big tournament in it, or win a tournament for it. How do you approach that kind of thing of not having experience yet?
Just fundamentals, right? Just fundamentals, and it helps a lot. Say hello.
Hey.
Can you say
Hi,
hello?
Harper.
Hi, Harper.
All right, the hands are moving.
Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, God, so adorable.
She's so cute.
Oh my God.
I would say just fundamentals in general. Like, I think learning a like Shoto type of character, it just kind of carries over in every game. There's always that one Shoto character that people can play like Ryu, right? Like you have in like Dankoga, they have Gonzalez, who pretty much is Ryu, like Hadoukens and like DPs, right? And then even Breaker's Revenge, there's a Show, Karna's Revenge, there's a Ray, and they all play similar in terms of Ryu and Ken. So because of that, I usually play those type of characters to kind of just get like a feel of how the game works when it comes to like, battle mechanics, or if they have battle mechanics at all. But usually these older games, it's kind of like, people used to call it Shoto clones.
Right.
And that's kind of what I really play when I play these events and games I don't really play.
Because I always remember there was that. I always tell that story. When you first came to California, you flew out to that one tournament. I forgot which one it was, but it was the one that was like got snowed in or whatever like that. And
I was in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Wisconsin?
Yeah, and you came back, and I asked how you did, and you're like, I won 100% of the tournaments that I entered. And I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, I won KOF 2002. I'm like, have you ever played that? And you were like, I just played it like it was 98. And then you like won Vampire Savior, and you're like, I just, just did whatever. And like, it's like, that's just one of those talents that you have. I mean, where do you feel like that's something innate, like natural, or do you feel like that's something that you can learn as a player?
I think anybody can learn it. It just really comes down to discipline. And like I always tell people, the one thing is like, if you don't know what's going on, just literally block on wake up. Like when I watch people play like other games that like this, like I play this game a lot, they really just keep pressing buttons on wake up. But like in my head, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on, so I'm going to block on wake up and see the options later on, because I'm gonna eventually be put in this scenario again, right? So I just think about like risk and reward, and I think about like just trying to learn while I'm playing against someone that knows how to play the game. Because if I'm watching what they're doing, then I'm gonna incorporate it into my gameplay. Kind of like it's like an X copy. That's kind of what I do.
But you don't think that the ability to do that, you don't think that's kind of innate? Like it's just a talent that you have? Like how can you train to be able to X copy somebody on site? Like that sounds like My Hero Academia, and that's your quirk.
It might
Nothing wrong to take anyone's abilities.
It might be because growing up in arcade teaches you that.
Yeah.
Because when you grow up in arcade and you're broke, you only got 50 cents to your name, you're not trying to spend no quarters, right? So I'm gonna watch the person play and just stay there and watch. So I guess it's just kind of natural habit of me just watching other people play or asking them, hey man, could I get your second round? I used to ask them that.
That's right. Like that, yeah.
Right.
I forgot. People did that.
So I would say because of me growing up in that habitat, it taught me how to like visually watch something and learn from there.
Yeah, oh, dude, I totally forgot about sharing rounds like that. Yeah, you would find the person who could basically kill everybody. So you always took their second round because the guy never had to worry about losing, right? Because they would win the. Dang. Oh.
I even like took second rounds from people that were like trying to learn the game, so I could teach them, right? So it's kind of like me teaching them, but I'm also getting the chance to play. So that was my hustle, you know what I mean?
You got to hustle there, yeah.
It sucked losing to the second round guy. It definitely did.
That's true, yeah.
But I mean, that's crazy because, like I said, I was just saying that, like, I'm trying to do this arcade feel, where I'm trying to gather people to watch. And that's one of the things that I say is actually missing a lot from online ranked is you don't get to sit down and watch that often. And I think that's something that we're missing a lot in fighting games. Obviously, I can say this now, Justin, and I know it makes you sad, but we're old men. We can talk about how obviously we're biased towards the arcade scene, but there was something about that environment that was very conducive to learning and very conducive to just growing as a fighting game player.
Well, I think it's also because like when you're in the arcade, you don't have much resources compared to now. Right, so because you don't have much resources, your thirst for knowledge is even higher than usual. So anything you want to like you see, you're going to just digest that knowledge because it's rare to get knowledge from the arcade era. A lot like like Vi said, right? Save that shit for nationals, right? That's kind of what the thing was. So when you find that information and you compare like different arcades, like because there was always different tier lists, right? There's a different tier list from the New York arcade, California arcade, Texas arcade, Chicago arcade. So it's like you're going to learn based off where you live. And I think because of that, like you're so thirsty for knowledge because I mean, besides what random tips and tricks magazines telling you how to do the Gambit Infinite, like where else are you gonna find the information?
Oh man.
I mean, you used to travel around quite a bit finding information and winning tournaments, but yeah, you would travel more than almost anybody in the US and see more of that stuff.
Yeah, that's why it was such a blessing just to see the world, even like before, like before I would say before Street Fighter 4, before everything got big, like it was really awesome to see the world just from like the retro perspective and seeing so many people playing all these games because they love it. Like it makes me appreciate that. I guess now it makes me super appreciate retro games even more because it's like, damn, like people are playing for like Capcom Pro Tours, MK Pro Tour, right? Like Tekken World Tour. But like back in the day, we really was playing for like $300 for first place, and it's like, it was crazy how much passion there was with the retro community.
Yeah, dude. I mean, when you used to come down to our monthlies in Northern Virginia, DC area, that was a big deal for us. Like that was like a time to test like how any of us was doing. Like we didn't know if you were going to come or not, but like we would train up and try to get good with the expectation that like at some point the New York dudes are going to come down again, or at some point the Philadelphia guys are going to come down again, and like we're going to get that chance to play. Like we grinded for that for sure. That was a big motivator.
Yeah, it's so fun. I mean, Steve H grinded so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, talk to me about. I mean, you just brought him up, but I just want to hear from your side. Talk to me about that infamous match that you had with Steve H. With
man, what the crazy part is before we like he was grinding so hard to beat me. Like we met at a gaming convention called MagFest.
Oh, okay,
right?
Okay.
And he was just like a fan, and he entered every tournament I entered at MagFest, and he got second. And after that point, he just wanted to get better and better. And then he got involved with the FGC scene in Maryland. Like he got in contact with like B More Chun, like Havoc, like Rugo B. And then from there, it was a nonstop grind. And then, I mean, he finally beat me in CVS2 at final round, just laned me out.
I mean, yeah, just to describe, like you guys had some epic CVS2 grand finals, 4 out of 7 matches that went on for literally over an hour.
Wasn't it like
literally over an hour?
I think it was like your Sakura versus his Honda that you guys literally held down back on the opposite end of the screen from 99 seconds to 0 seconds, right? Like
it's because since I won the previous round, like I had a pixel left. So my whole goal from that situation is like, well, this is bonus life. Any damage I can get is bonus damage, right? So he realized like I'm not gonna chase Justin. He's gonna try to annoy me with this little pixel life. So he just sat there, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll sit here too. See how long.
That man did not crack.
Yeah. So at the 50-second mark, I was probably thinking like, all right, when it gets down to 10 seconds, I'm gonna go in, because if I can get any life from that situation, he won't recover full life from there, and I'll have the advantage the next round. So yeah, that's what I was thinking after that.
I mean, again, back at those C3 locals that we had, the monthlies, you guys played sometimes. And in general, like I said, like we were really excited to have you come down and the other players from New York because you're also super good. We all wanted to watch. But when it was you versus Steve H, we definitely left the building, dude. We weren't hang around for that. No way.
I can imagine.
No. But I mean,
all right. So,
you had talked about a little bit earlier that you weren't necessarily entering that many tournaments online and stuff, but now with like Fightcade, and obviously you played the Guilty Gear beta with that rollback netcode. I mean, if every fighting game had like Fightcade or Guilty Gear level, that kind of quality of online, would you enter a lot more of the big tournaments? Like if there was a big Capcom Cup kind of Street Fighter 5 thing and their netcode was that good, would it be something that you would be more interested in entering?
Yeah, I think I will, to be honest. For if Guilty Gear Strive's netcode still stays the same and they have like an Arxis World Tour, I'll definitely enter. I think I would also enter CPT now because I've been having so much fun with Dan. Like, I just want to enter a tournament with Dan, like, and just kind of just go for the infinite, and yeah, that's the main goal, right? But when Rose comes out, I'm definitely gonna play her hard.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to enter. Like, I was trying to look for Street Fighter 5 tournaments in the West Coast, but the problem with Street Fighter 5 tournaments is that it seems like there's only Wednesday night fights, and because of that, it takes 6 hours, and I can't afford to take 6 hours to enter Wednesday night fights. So yeah, I'm just whenever there's a Street Fighter 5 tournament that's like, either like a CPT or like something that just pops up more frequently on the West Coast, I probably would enter.
Okay.
So
Well-
you brought up Strive. Are you planning to go hard on Strive? Like, how are you feeling about that game right now?
It's great. I mean, I've been having fun. I know. I guess maybe because I'm not a Guilty Gear player, like I'm having more fun than like actual Guilty Gear players, right? Because I don't have Guilty Gear tendencies
Right.
from like previous Guilty Gear games.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, when the beta came out, I went on it like crazy. Like I played so much of it, and yeah, and I was trying all the other characters out, playing against people from Japan. I think that was like the major draw.
Yeah.
Was the fact that I can play like people from Japan that I would normally
Yeah,
play
so sick.
at CPT, but because of COVID we can't. It really made me love fighting games at that point because I'm like, damn, I really miss playing against like international competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. But let's talk about you also really making content creation a big focus for yourself over the last while at this point. Talk to me about how you kind of built that side of things for yourself.
I guess like when I was just thinking about like content, and I think about like successful people like Maximilian dude, right? And it just seems like it's like why wouldn't we throw more content out there, right?
Mhm.
And I think once more people start throwing more content out there, then more people follow, right? You see a lot more fighting game content on YouTube now, just from their perspective, from like either Street Fighter 5 or like Dragon Ball, Mortal Kombat, older games, and just like I guess when I started uploading and reading the comments, it kind of made me want to just go harder even more because it just seems like a lot of people just don't know that we exist, right? And because they don't know that we exist, it makes me want to push even harder because now I get so many people on like coming to the Twitch chats. Like I just came from a YouTube channel and I can't believe I'm catching you live, or like you inspire me and like I love your YouTube videos, stuff like that. So it really like I just love the transition from them coming over to Twitch or just even social media or just even them keeping like tabs on like the videos and wanting to learn more. So I would like, and reading the comments really is nice because it's like there's a lot of positivity.
Nice.
They want to see more. They want to see more. I know YouTube comments are kind of negative a lot of times, but like I guess mine is they're very positive and they recommend what they want to see next.
Right.
And because like I like to be that person who plays multiple fighting games or any fighting game in general, it just makes it easier for me because I'm not forced to stick to one thing.
Sure.
Do you want to come and play in my SamSho stream, Justin? Kill people with that tam or?
Man, I haven't. You know the problem with SamSho is, like, I was trying to play SamSho and the lobby doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm doing it all on Parsec now, dude. It's all on Parsec, so.
That broke my heart so much because like this dude literally bought the game right there on the spot when I said, "Yeah, I'll play you in SamSho," and he says, "All right, I'm gonna buy it right now." He bought it $50, and we couldn't connect. We tried for an hour and we couldn't connect on stream, and I was like, "That really sucked." It really sucked.
That makes my heart break, dude.
At the game store or something, getting his money back.
No, he got it on PS4. It was for PS4.
Oh, he's screwed.
Bummer.
That sucks, man.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's
why I stopped playing the game, Justin.
Yeah, no,
'cause
yeah.
I can't support that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they fix their online or just make their lobbies work, I would be playing it more. But because it's like you're just forced to having to buy it on PC. I don't want to buy it on PC because I already have it on PS4.
Hey
right?
man,
So-
on my Parsec thing, you don't even need to buy it. You can just come and play.
Oh, that's true. It is free. that is true.
Oh man, I mean,
Before,
go ahead. I was just gonna tell the story of like, I remember when SamSho first came out, just talking about how quickly you learn. You
Right,
fought Corey. At what tournament was it? I forgot. Oh, it was a CEO or something like.
CEO.
Yeah.
CEO.
And Corey had been grinding a lot of Tam Tam, and so he was like, "All right, I'll help Justin learn Tam Tam." And he played you like maybe 3 matches, and then at that point in time, like no one could beat your Tam Tam anymore.
No, he definitely taught me how to play the game like more like fundamentally and like using the mechanics and everything. So he definitely was the reason why I like became successful that year in SamSho.
Oh man, but it's just someone in the chat said Taskmaster when you were talking about how you were learning everything, and it's like I swear that's just really what it is, man.
It is not. This is not something that can be taught.
You know what it is? I think it's because the love of fighting games I have.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to learn because the amount of passion I want to learn and like get better.
Right.
I love seeing progress. I'm a big fan of progress.
And I know David wanted to ask a question, but really quick on that topic, because this is something that you and I have talked about a lot, and you've told this story on a lot of streams before. But I mean, it wasn't innate, right? You didn't come out of the womb like as like some sort of fighting game god or anything like that. It was literally because you just wanted to stop losing, and so you actually went to Chinatown Fair Arcade when nobody else was there, and you grinded, and so it was something that you had to learn, right? I mean, how much?
I was terrible. I was a masher, right? I was literally mashing, right? Literally, I remember myself just mashing like this.
I've seen the
right?
Daigo
And
Parry
then-
video. I know that you mash, so
I couldn't really mash. I couldn't do special moves.
Like, what
Like,
age
I
are
was-
we talking about here?
Like 13.
Okay.
Like I was mashing mad hard, and but the thing is, before even I was like playing against like humans, like I had the ability to like understand how to beat a game, right? So like I knew how to play video game, but for fighting games, I couldn't understand it for the longest time. And then when I went to like middle school, like I was trying to hang out with these like these kids, and they would play Marvel's Street Fighter. And I would play with them, and they would just laugh at me because like they have the combos, and I sucked. They would just laugh at me like, "Oh, you're so bad!" Like, so I literally spent the whole summer, like at this little candy shop, right, called Raoul's Candy Shop, and they had this Marvel's Capcom machine, and I spent the whole summer there playing in the sweaty shop, no AC, like just straight metal fan, and just learn how to do the combos, learn how to do specials. And just learn how to beat the game of every character. And then when 8th grade came about, we went to the arcade, and I smoked them. They were like, "What happened?" I was like, "Well, I spent the whole summer practicing."
Dude, imagine being the guy who was like, "You're terrible at this fighting game stuff, Justin Wong. It's never gonna work out for you."
I was so salty. I was so salty that I spent the whole summer practicing so I could beat them when school rolled over.
Dang, so you would say then, your talent in fighting games is less nature, more nurture kind of thing, right? So, I mean, like, is that when people say like, "Oh, I just don't think I can ever be good at fighting games." I mean, do you feel like you're proof that, if you just put in the work, you can become a Justin Wong?
I think anybody could become good at fighting games. Mm-hmm. It just really depends on how much effort you really put in. Like I totally do believe that people can learn and actually beat people that they want to beat, because like I really want to beat Eddie Lee, man, and like it took a long time, but it finally happened, and it felt really nice. It's like you just feel so like you feel just so happy, and then you just want to just even take it even further, because after beating Eddie Lee, like I guess people expected me to keep winning. Like in Chinatown Fair, and so I guess I just kept going harder and harder and harder because I wanted to just like keep representing like my arcade at the time.
See, you kind of skirted James's question though. James didn't ask could anybody be a good fighting game player. James asked could anybody be a Justin Wong because there is a huge difference between being a good fighting game player and being Justin Wong.
Like I think the problem is like how obsessed are you in trying to be a Justin Wong? Because I'm like really obsessive with fighting games, and I think just growing up, like I really spent like most of my childhood, my social life was literally in the arcade. Like I probably put in more hours than like growing up, like more hours than most other people. Probably the only people that probably put more hours than me are people that had an arcade or actually like in Japan, for example, right?
Right.
But I every day, like when I didn't have school, 10 a.m. to like 10 p.m. at Chinatown Fair. That was just the flow chart.
Jeez.
It doesn't matter if people were there playing. Like 10 a.m. to like at least 5 p.m. Nobody was playing there. It was just me versus the AI, right? Me trying to like hustle the token guy. Be like, hey man, like let me get a token. You know what I mean? To play the game. But yeah, I would literally spend all the time at the arcade.
Dang. When did you discover Chinatown Fair? How old were you?
My grandma took me when I was like 7 years old, so I knew it always existed.
Oh, okay.
But every family will tell you not to go to the arcade because it's like gangsters and stuff like that's there. But eventually, like once like I upgraded from like the candy shop from Raoul's candy shop, I felt like I had to go to Chinatown Fair because that's where all the rumors were, like all the best players play there, right? So that's then I started going without like telling them I was going there, and then yeah, it was fine.
So for modern stuff now, for content, just to go back to that, I'm curious, like what was the motivation to do that in the first place? You know, seeing comments, I guess, keeps you going. But what was the drive initially to go from being a top level player to being also a content creator?
I guess because I wasn't forced to, like, let's say for example, I know a lot of people are forced to like having to stream, let's say Street Fighter 5, right? Because Street Fighter 5 gives them the most views, gives them the most videos, the most content. But to me, I didn't care about the views. So like when you compare it to like my original videos, they did terrible, right? Like the view in terms of views, like it's so low. It's like maybe like a few thousand. But like I just personally didn't care, right? I I personally didn't care, and because of that, like it just kept, and I saw the growth because I didn't care, and I just started putting in more content, more different styles, more versions of like different videos. Like before it was like gameplay, let me commentate during the gameplay, let me learn random characters, random teams, let me take requests from the chat. Like it's just so many ideas just kept flowing in my head that it just became fun to do instead of, because I don't like treating it as a job. I just think of it as like it's really fun. It's a hobby to me. Like gaming, like it's still a hobby. Obviously, you can make money from it, but I treat it as like it's a job that you love, but it's still a really strong hobby for me.
Dang. See, there's the lesson right there. Do what you love, man, and
yeah,
do what you love. I mean, look, I don't really care about playing like modern games to get views. I'll just play whatever I like, whatever hits it hits, right? King of Fighters 13 Trials all of a sudden just blows up, right?
Yeah, actually, that's right. I wanted to ask about that as well. Not about KOF 13 specifically, but how helpful has Panda Global been for, you know, a lot of the content that you've been doing? I mean, they have like a really nice little focused group there where they get all the players to like play footsies and stuff, and you know, like how has that been going for you?
So being part of Panda Global's like staff and also like player, it really teaches you a lot. Like I learned so much from them in terms of like how to like advertise, how to like do the SEO side, how to get more people to get involved, what is considered a good video to like think about doing, different type of collaborations. Like so there's like so many like of that ideas that really came to me because of joining Panda. Like I would say before joining Panda, like a good video for me would be like maybe like 8,000. But now joining Panda, like now I can like really break into like the 40s and the 50s on a common video. And that's because of their just like their study of how just algorithm works, how people react to like specific thumbnails, and how people react to like what type of content you want to throw. Like it really is an interesting thing, and they have a great plan. And I think you could see from like Kizzy's channel, Punk's channels, like Hook's channel, like it's all been growing, right? And I think because of that, you see more people trying to get involved into like content creation as well, like in their ways. And I mean, it's been they've been killing it, man. I think in terms of like FGC content, I feel like they're leading like for a huge margin.
Yeah, and one thing that is cool too is that I feel like there are commonalities among each of the like content that you guys come out with. Like there is to me like a panda like kind of style that has been created that I really like. Even as obviously you guys are doing different things, you have different personalities and stuff. There's still like as the viewer, I can expect like a certain like kind of feel that I really like being able to check them out differently.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Like, and I just think just the more content for the FGC, the better, because it gets more people just know that we exist.
Totally, man. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, to be honest, all I do is literally work, stream, family. That's kind of all I do.
That sounds like a pretty good rotation, dude.
I mean, what would you have done? Like, how do you think you would have reacted? Like, maybe, with that 16-year-old Justin, to know that at this age now you'd have a family, you'd have a beautiful little girl, and you're just sitting here streaming fighting games, and you're internationally famous and all that stuff. I mean, how do you think?
I still wouldn't believe it. I mean, even now, it's really surprising, because I think growing up in like the time frames of like the 80s and 90s, like we're able to like appreciate back in the day, and we're also able to appreciate modern technology. But when you think about it, it's like, yeah, that's kind of crazy still. Like, to me, I still think it's crazy that we're able to like stream now, make money from video games, right? I mean, the whole thing back in the day was like, stop playing video games, stop wasting your time, get a job or go to school and blah blah blah. Don't play video games. That's what the parents always said, right?
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, looking now, like I'm able to give back to my family because of video games, and yeah, it's pretty awesome, actually.
That's cool.
Well, you're honestly one of the pioneers in doing that. I mean, no joke. Not even just among fighting game players, but among video game players in NA in general. Like you're one of those pioneers.
Yeah, it's just total. It's just a total blessing. Like really, really total blessing.
And my last question to you, Justin, is how awesome would it be if that kid that you taught, you're gonna learn today, son, like one day comes back and says, "Guess who I am, Justin," at a tournament, and he's like, "Let's play some Mortal Kombat right now," and he turns out to be godlike. Like, how would that be?
I learned today.
Would that be awesome for you?
Bro, I think that would break the internet. But the funny part is that I think like actually I just like checked to see like what's he been playing, because I remember he was on my PS4 friends list, and he still is, and he's a Fortnite kid, man.
You lost him.
He's a Fortnite kid. I'm about to message him like, hey, have you tried out Ryu and Chun-Li or something?
See what you did, man? You turned him away from fighting those games.
So I had no idea that you like knew, even if internet ways knew who that was. I thought that was just completely random. That's wild.
So like after the match, I added him as a friend, and then because there's a second part where I actually invite him back to play me again, and the first thing he says is, "I know what you're doing. You're live streaming. I'm watching." That's literally what he said.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's literally what he said. So since then, like, yeah,
I know what you're doing.
He's on my friends list.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, he didn't know who I am. He just like he knew I was live streaming, because like during that time, like the Mortal Kombat streams were just killing it. Like I was killing the Mortal Kombat stream. So But yeah, that's the lore. Like he knew he was on stream. He probably knows that video is like famous, super famous, right? Because of him.
Bro,
But
he shows all his friends at school.
Probably,
Definitely
yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
Definitely knows.
it is funny.
All right, dude. So let everybody know where they can watch you.
You guys could watch me on twitch.tv/jwong with 3Gs, youtube.com/Justin Wong, and twitter.com/jwong with 3Gs.
Ooh. Well, thanks a lot again for coming on.
Justin.
Yeah, of course,
Appreciate
man. Anytime.
Good to hear from you. I'm glad that you got up there. I'm glad you
I'm
got
great.
out.
Hey, real
I'm
quick.
trying to learn how
real
to
quick.
play this too.
I'm glad you got out, dude.
Oh yeah,
You got a snack? Oh, so sick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn how to play on this. It looks so cool.
I really want to get one of those. It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll tell you this. I mean, just to be absolutely honest, like, people, I don't know if a lot of people know, when he first moved to California, he moved in with me, right? So he lived in the little basement room that I have. And, you know, when he first came out here and stuff, I remember you were trying to get on the, you know, the reality show, and you're trying to do all that stuff with EG and everything like that. You were trying, and like, you know, I got to know you at that point in time, and it just, like, I've always said I do what I do in the FGC because I want to see people like you succeed, and to see what you're doing right now, like, and to see the success that you have. Like, I'm just like, it makes me so happy. Like, it's like literally one of the biggest joys for me to see how successful you are now, and just how happy you are. It warms my heart, and I don't want to get all crying and teary-eyed and shit like that, but like, honestly, I'm so happy to see where you are, where how everything is going for you. So
It was a long road. It was a long road, and yeah, I mean, I'm at a good point. It's like a little, like, nice little pit stop, little gas station right here.
I'm sure the future is going to be good too.
Yeah, so it's been very nice, and yeah, I mean, you're the one that took me in the basement, got a job at Family Fun Arcade. You know what I mean? So that was pretty fun. It was super good times back in the day, man. I swear, I think about them, and it's like, man, so much has changed, and I mean, even though like things are still great, it's just like when you like kind of rewatch like some of like these like clips or YouTube videos back in the day, and you see how different it is, even though it's like 144p on YouTube, it's still an amazing watch.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right,
Have a good night.
All right, guys, have a good night, have a great show, and yeah, I mean, I'll see you guys online.
all right.
See you online, dude.
All right, peace. Oh man.
All right, cool. Well, thanks again to Justin for coming on and hanging out with us. And yeah, to echo James, you know, congrats to him on all of the awesome stuff that he is doing and has done. I mean, you could tell just by listening to him talk. There's no fakery in anything that he was saying in the way that he comes across. Like, he is a humble guy. He's a super cool dude. Very, very nice guy. Extremely happy for him.
I always tell that story because, like, when I was first told he was coming out to California, needed a place to stay, and someone's like, hey, maybe Justin can live with you. And I was like, you mean that one cocky, braggadocious kid from New York? I'm like, well, I might as well give it a shot or whatever. And, you know, I know that there's a lot of people out there that have that kind of feeling about Justin, that they think like, oh, he's just doing this because he's influencer or whatever. But I mean, he's a genuine guy. When he says he likes a game, people are like, oh, he's just chilling. But dude, Justin likes a lot of things. Like, you just hear him the way he talks about different animes and different games and stuff like that. So, you know, I was surprised at like how genuine of a person he was when I first met him and got to know him that way. And, you know, like I said, he's one of those players that I'll always stick up for, and I'm always, you know, happy to see succeed. So
100%. All right, well, let's move on to the 5-5 matchup.
Sure.
We're going to start out with our own today before we get to the viewer questions. Because yesterday on the internet, Tubaware and I were arguing about this. What counts as a fighting game tournament major?
Okay, see, I had no idea where this came from.
I don't even know where it came from. Why did we start
I
talking
can tell you
about that?
exactly where it came from, guys.
Okay.
I can tell you where this whole thing started. I tweeted out that Frosty Faustings was the only American major. And it was the last American major of 2020, right?
Right.
And now it looks like in 2022, it'll be the first major that everybody gets to go back to. That'll be like safe, you know?
Right.
As far as tournaments announced at this time. And I had maybe 3 or 4 replies in there say, oh, but this tournament happened. And I'm like, that's not a major. Oh, this tournament happened. I'm like, that's not a major. One person actually replied to me, a SamSho player, that, you know, he's like, oh, well, you know, KIT happened. And Frosty's maybe has a few more people go. So I hit him with hard facts. Frosty Faustings 2020 had 1,757 entrants. And I think KIT had 581. I don't think those are comparable. So I put that in our group chat, and I was like, hey, we should argue about this, because I think that Frosty's is a major, and the other tournaments not, you know, are mostly not in Frosty's level. Like, it's one of the top 6 most attended tourneys in the world.
I mean, Frosty Faustings I think was like the 4th highest tournament after Evo, Combo Breaker, and CEO, right? Like, I think it.
I think it was 6. My
6?
my
Okay.
guy Rick said it was number 6 in the world.
Okay.
So I'll take. I mean, if somebody's gonna know, it's gonna be Rick. I'll take his word for it.
Yeah, for sure.
But
for
still,
sure.
top 6 in the world. That means is what, Evo, CEO, or Combo Breaker, maybe like final round or something, maybe something international, and then like. But still, like, these are big events, right? So I think things like Anime Ascension and ECT, well, ECT is probably a major too, but things that aren't breaking 1,000 entrants, I don't think those are majors. I just don't. But David has the argument that, well, maybe it's a major for X game. Like, maybe it's a major for Mortal Kombat. And see, I don't think it can be a major based on quality of opponent, because by that definition, any online event or any invitational could be considered a major.
You're getting ahead of yourself here. You're getting ahead of yourself.
I'm explaining my argument. You guys can figure out after that. I'm just saying where I'm coming from. So I feel like a major has to have at least 800 individual entrants. I feel like that is the cutoff in my brain that I made up for me. That it has to be 800 individual entrants are up to be considered a major event. That's how I feel.
My position was that you can say that something is a major for a certain game, and your position is that you cannot say that, right? That's
not unless it has like, I don't, like, in my opinion, if there's thousands of Mortal Kombat players and only 112 of them show up, how can you call that a major?
So for KIT, I do consider that a major for the NRS scene. And I don't know what the enter numbers are. I didn't look them up, but I would wager that among those, would you say 580 for KIT? My guess is that half of those were playing MK. Like, it is one of the biggest events that happens for Mortal Kombat.
Well, then you could say it's prestigious for Mortal Kombat, but that doesn't make the entire event a major. Is my argument. I'm not talking about individual games.
Well, okay, but also that wasn't my argument either. My argument wasn't that it's a major. Period. I'm saying it's a major for Mortal Kombat. It's a major for the NRS games. So what I'm viewing a major as basically changes game by game. I would say Evo's a major for all the games that it has. But I would also say that so you can just close the sentence because you don't need to finish it because it's all major. Right. But for most tournaments, I think that's not true unless you really just want to say that there's 3 majors and it's Evo and CEO and Combo Breaker, but that's not correct, right? For almost every other tournament, there's a game that like makes it really count for that game. And in fact, there's other parts of the world, there's tournaments here where you would say that it's a major for a specific game only, but you would definitely count it as majors. I feel like that's the case for many things. You would have said that Final Round is a major for Tekken even back in the day, right? You wouldn't maybe have said that for other games. You would have said that certain tournaments were major specifically for Third Strike or for CVS2, but other regions didn't care about those games. So you couldn't have the conversation that it was a major for everything, but definitely for some. And I feel like that's definitely still the case. There are tournaments that only run Street Fighter 5 and they're majors. Or maybe they have Street Fighter V, etc., but there's such a drop-off that for the other games, you wouldn't say that it's a major. So I think it has to be a little bit more complicated, and that it should be on a game-by-game basis. And I don't just mean that it's about whether the top players show up or not, because for KIT, that's not the case. They do show up there because it's considered a really big event, but also lots of players for the NRS scene show up there. It's just a smaller scene than, for Street Fighter V or for Tekken or whatever. It's not as big, so it's not gonna have those numbers. But I definitely do think that you can say that it's a major for that game. Buddy,
James, thoughts?
I mean, from my perspective, majors in the fighting game scene is less about numbers and games and whatever, and I think it's more just about reputation and tenure and just quality kind of a thing, that's kind of how I would judge it a little bit more, because for example, like if you compare it to tennis, there's the 4 Grand Slam events, right? There's Wimbledon, Australian Open, US Open, and the French Open. And, those are just the 4 most important events there, and largely due to tenure, history, etc., etc. That's just kind of how I would judge it. For me, something like Frosty Faustings is definitely a major right now because it's been there. It's a successful tournament. People repeatedly have a good time there. You can have some, tournament that's just kind of small, not a lot of people go to for years. I wouldn't really count that as a major, but like something like KIT has started developing a reputation that people travel to. Maybe it's on the cusp of being a major. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to a KIT, so I haven't been able to feel the vibe of a KIT in person or anything like that. Something like First Attack, definitely a major for me, even if First Attack has smaller numbers than some other majors. But for the Puerto Rican scene, it's a consistency. It's a big event. It's something that the entire island finds important. A lot of people travel to, etc., etc. For me, qualifying a major is, unfortunately, it's not as scientific for me. It's more kind of like a feel. What a shock for me to say that it's more about a feel than it is about like scientific numbers and stuff. So for me, that's kind of how it would be reputation a lot. Reputation and, confidence from players to go to this event that they're going to have a good time and have a well-run tournament. Obviously, I'm not saying it has to be flawless or anything like that, but, it's just scope. It's just feel. When you're at an event that's a major, you kind of know it's a major. It's like art. You can't describe it, but when you're there, when you see it, you know it kind of thing. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
In conclusion, many things can be a major. What though? 800 people? What a bizarre cutoff.
In conclusion, yeah, I just think you need to have a certain amount of entrance, man. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
I understand the prestige, but I think that's where the disconnect is. I think you shouldn't use the word major. You can't say it's a Mortal Kombat major. Say it's a prestigious event for Mortal Kombat. Say it's a prestigious event for Killer Instinct. Like, I know I'm nitpicking, but I think a major tournament needs to be major. There needs to be a major amount of people there. You can't have a 300-person event and call it a major. That's not major. That's minor. That's regional. It's not major. It's just
they're
not.
all there for one game.
Then great. They had a 300-man bracket for one game.
What if there's a 795-person Tekken tournament and nobody else enters for any other game?
It'll never happen unless it's only a Tekken event. Unless it's only a Tekken event.
Arguendo. Come on, man.
No, I'm not.
I'm
not hitting your straw man stuff. Get out of here. I'm not your what about and what ifs. Get out of here.
Let me lawyer you.
No, it's not happening.
Let me say. All I'll say is that shoot. What are you doing, Jasmine? Stop it! What are you doing? Oh my gosh, it's destroying my chair. What have you done to my chair? Shoot, what the hell was I gonna say? Stupid cat. Okay, yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. It's tough for me because you know, for B3, there were 60 some odd people for Alpha
That's
2.
a different time, though, James. That's a whole different story.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Definitely,
But what
the
I'm
numbers change, as
Right.
things progress.
What I'm saying, the reason why I bring that up is that it's really hard for me to judge on numbers because having gone through the entire gamut, it's hard for me to just be like, you know what? Like, it's hard for me to move the goalposts when it comes to numbers. You know what I mean? Like,
you've seen the lowest end, you've seen the highest
yeah.
end,
So I get where you're coming from, but for me, it's like, wow, how do you even pick a number? Because to me, if you have 300 people for one game at an event, that's freaking impressive. You know? Like, to me, I'm just like,
it is.
yeah, I'm like, wow, that's so cool. You know, so it's like, it's hard for me to like evaluate this year. I think we've gotten to 900 people for a major. You know, like, it's hard for me to think that way because I've run the whole gamut. Obviously, it changes from year to year as we keep growing, but that's kind of one of the reasons why I can't just go hard on numbers, I guess. So,
Okay.
yeah.
There are definitely more 800 plus person tournaments, and especially, you know, people are talking about Smash. Smash has its own set of majors for sure. Maybe it's only CEO that overlaps as far as other fighting games go. Or Evo, if Evo's, you know, still going to do that. But yeah, in general, I would say that they're different. I don't know how many events in total have more than 800 people. It's not many, but you know, fighting games and traditional fighting games, Smash, it's under 10, right? I mean, it's not 10.
Right.
I don't know if it's under 10 because Frosty's at 17, almost 1,800 entrants, and they're number 6. So there could be quite a few that actually have above 800. I don't think it's that ridiculous of a number I'm throwing out.
I mean, at this point in time, if we decide to judge by Brawlhalla numbers, nothing is a major.
Online Brawlhalla numbers, yeah, amazing. So super cool. 7,000 plus people.
Man, I hope that happens for Strive. I really do.
So cool. Yeah, and look, I mean, it is online, and so it's not going to be the same as the number of people who will come offline.
Right.
But I don't want to make it seem like I'm downplaying that because that's an amazing number to have. Super, super great for that community.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And again, you know, like people in the chat are talking about how the Smash community grades tournaments. There's some tournaments they determine as super majors. You know, I've often talked about FGC in tennis terms, and I would like to create kind of a Grand Slams kind of thing. But again, if I did that, you know, would it be based on numbers? Would it be based on reputation? I'm not sure. You know, that's the thing for me.
I feel if you're going to do that right now, it's obviously Evo, Combo Breaker, CEO, and then a fourth.
Right.
I think only the fourth one would be the hard one to pick. You know,
probably. I mean, if it's America only, then it would be Frosty Faustings would be the fourth one. You know what I mean? If it's America only.
What about Final Round? You talk about prestige. Final Round's been around for 20 plus years.
Yeah, I mean, Final Round is a tough one because it's definitely had the ups and downs, right? I mean, there was that one period of time that it got kind of almost unfairly criticized, you know, and you know, it lost. It was oh man, I hate that situation so much. I still feel awful for Larry because Street Fighter V came out. He wasn't expecting that many people to show up to Street Fighter V on the first year. He's always been just this little hotel major, and yeah, it was overcrowded and there were problems. So the next year he shifted to a whole new venue, but because everybody complained about the previous year, nobody went, and it was just like I was just one of those situations that makes me so sad. But yeah, I had Final Round is one that in my heart I would definitely like to include just because of its prestige and reputation. So.
Alrighty, let's move on.
Okay. Poll questions here.
That's right. We're going to be moving on to the viewer questions of the 5-5 matchup. Here we go! Since the FGC has the reputation of being quote-unquote poverty, what are possible monetization methods developers can try for either budget on the dev side or pot bonuses on the community side without violating competitive integrity? Number 2, will VTubers eventually play an important role to promote fighting games to new players? A big one named Mori Calliope has been promoting Strive and Dexter. 3, if the Street Fighter series were to have 3-person teams like KOF, what do you think the teams might be? And if you had your choice, what would be your team? Number 4, How do you think FGC messaging should balance the need for rollback netcode with the need to attend local tournaments after COVID? Especially for FGC newcomers who soon may be even less tempted to get their butts off the couch and participate in offline events in a world with great netcode. Number 5, Melee has the 5 gods. Do traditional fighting games have anything similar? Who do you think are the gods of Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter, Tekken 7, KI, and GG? 6, what do you think the most overlooked or underappreciated fighting game is? Well, here's the results. I'll tell you, when I saw this list and I saw how the initial voting was, I didn't even think about how to answer number 3 because it didn't look like it was going to get the votes. But that's what won by a huge. It's so rare that one of these things actually gets a majority. But it actually got 52% of the vote. Almost always it's the case that there's like a slight advantage. It actually blew everything else up.
Right.
So number 3, if the Street Fighter series were to have 3-person teams like King of Fighters, what do you think the teams might be? And if you had your choice, what would be your team?
This is a question that I don't think can be answered giving me no time. Because let me tell you this right now. This kind of thing is something that I would be so obsessive over. Oh my God. Me and my brother grew up like categorizing things, putting things into groups. And doing these kind of things. We used to run CPU versus CPU tournaments in Alpha 3, and we put them into their initial teams, and we were just so OCD about like who should be teamed up with who and like how it made sense. And eventually we had to tweak all the teams because one of them was winning too much. So we had to put like bad characters with the good characters to balance out all the teams and everything like that. And, you know, we still had to make sure we did it in a way that the teams made sense and stuff. And like, man, I could not answer this question without giving me at least like a week of prep time.
And while you were doing all that, David and his brothers were playing the fart game, just farting on each other's heads.
I mean, let's put it this way. Like, I'm obsessed with that. That's why I said if I ever made a rival schools game, you wouldn't be able to switch the characters on the team and stuff. Like, putting people into groups is just like, I mean, it's part of why, you know, a lot of the KOF 15 reveals has been fascinating for me. Why I got so happy that Kyo, Yuri, and Chizuru are finally on a team together. Like that, like things like that make me too excited, you know, like to think about those kind of things. Why I'd be like, dude, they should totally put it so that it's Joe, Andy, and Mai so that Terry can be with, you know, like I get way too obsessive about these things.
I'm glad that this like excites you because I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I know. Just
I couldn't care less.
Completely melting away. I mean, you gotta have some obvious ones, I would think, right? You gotta have Shadowloo, which is maybe like Bison and Vega and Boxer. And maybe you gotta have Shotos, which is Ryu and Ken, and then you can add any number of whatever to the third. Is it Goken? Maybe.
Gotta be Goken.
Is it Akuma though? Could be also.
No way. They couldn't team with Akuma.
See,
maybe.
Tubo's got some blood in this, right? So
however,
I have no blood in this.
All right. So who would Akuma's team be? Would it be Akuma and Evil Ryu and
Kage?
Kage? Yeah. What do you think about? Yeah. What do you think about inducting Violent Ken into the official lore? What do you think about that?
No.
I can't wait. I hope they bring in 55 Kens and 87 different Ryus. And you know what? Next Street Fighter, I want it to be just like Dragon Ball Fighters. I want it to be Oops All Ryu.
Grappler Ryu.
Look,
maybe you got.
I mean, Guile and Chun-Li have to be on the same team, right?
Okay, so Guile and Chun-Li and Pre-Crisis Nash are all hanging out together.
Right. I see. I wouldn't even put Ryu and Ken on the same team. Like, to me, you would have to respect their rivalry and put them on opposite teams, you know?
But it's
they're also best friends.
It's a friendly rivalry. I think that has to be on the same team.
It is a friendly rivalry, but that's why I feel like, you know, Ken and Ryu would be like, should we team up? No, let's make our own own teams. Let's see which one of us can do better, you know, kind
I
of
don't
thing.
think
Now we're just writing fanfic.
I don't think so. I think they try to represent their school as best as they can by beating everybody else together.
Well, then they would have to put Dan on the team then, right? It would have to be Ryu, Ken, and Dan, because Dan was part of that school for a brief period.
Well, I think it's probably Goken. It's probably Goken there. Dan and maybe Blanca
and Sakura.
and
yeah, it would
Sakura
have to
is
be
a
Dan,
team.
Blanca,
Yeah.
and Sakura has to be a team.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
a
there you go.
given.
You got Zangief and Rainbow Mika.
Or
No.
would it be Karin, Ibuki, and Mika, thanks to the Street Fighter V intricate story where Bison tries to block out the sun by gathering chess pieces, right? I mean, come on.
James, is he really Mr. Burns in that
Yes,
story mode?
he is. He actually is.
Wow. Bummer.
Or something like that, yeah. Because I don't
Tempo's
even...
not even going to give that a laugh. He just is not
That
happy about this.
story was so bad, dude. Oh, God.
Fuerte with Geef and Mika, interesting. I don't know that I agree with that one.
They're all wrestlers.
You got, well, I understand that, yeah, but, well, maybe. You got to have the final fight team of maybe Cody and I guess who's Street Fighter for this
Poison.
context?
Cody Guy?
Cody Guy
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Poison.
but and Poison, but they're
No,
not.
you can't put
would
Poison.
They team with
Poison-
Poison? I don't
Yeah,
think
see,
so.
Poison would go with Abigail and Sodom, right? Like you
Abigail
have
and Sodom makes sense.
Sodom
Yeah.
is never coming back to any Street Fighter game ever.
But he's on a team though. He's on a team.
Yeah, but
is
Sodom's
it-
not coming back because I think he has like similar Strider rights problem. I think more than anything. So
I
or
didn't
maybe
know.
because his name is Sodom.
well,
Like, I'm sure that is part of the problem.
Okay.
I mean, because it could be Cody Guy and either Lucia or Maki.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Who's Street Fighter, right? Like, is it Maki? Is it Hagar?
See, Hagar
I've
would never
been in
count.
Street Fighter.
Could be Lucia.
Yeah, Hagar would never count. I never want to see Hagar in a Street Fighter game. I never want to see Hagar in a Street
I
Fighter
hope
game.
Street Fighter 6 is starring Hagar.
Only because he was former Street Fighter champion, and so I would like to respect the lore and leave him as a Street Fighter champion, and he never has to enter again. So you know,
But what if he won in Street Fighter 6?
I mean that's the thing. He would have to be OP, right? He would just have to.
Hey
be
man,
OP.
look. Sagat is former Street Fighter champion, and he's still in Street Fighter.
Yeah, but
Got him.
he's
Nailed him.
no, but that's not saying that I don't want former
Got him.
champions to not be. I just want Hagar to retire as a champion.
Go out on
That's
the
all
top.
it is. I just want him to go out on top. That's all it is. So.
All right, so you got 12 and Necro and 11. That's a team.
God.
Oh yeah, 11's in a game now, kind of.
Correct.
Can we take that
You
team?
got Q and G.
Can all the other teams beat up that team and steal their invitation so they never show up in any game again, like the American KOF team? Like that's literally the lore.
Maybe Oro hangs out with Goken. Actually, maybe Goken doesn't play on Ryu and Ken's team.
I mean, you could put Akuma. You could have Akuma, Oro, and Gen team up as as the assassins trying to who hate each other, but they're all on the same team.
Okay, all right. This is Tupperware disinterestedly takes a drink of his drink.
I like just.
You can't even fake
I
it.
can't
huh?
even
You
fake
hate it so
man.
much.
I just. It's just so unimportant to me in my brain.
It's cracking
Because
me up,
if I
Tupper.
played that game and they didn't let me just pick out 3 characters, then I wouldn't play that game. Like
Dude.
if they made me pick these teams, there's no way I want to play that
See,
game.
that's the reason
It's actually so funny how disinterested you are, though.
why. Yeah, that's actually one
Sorry,
of the,
I was trying for a bit, and it's not in my heart, man.
that's the other reason why I wouldn't want to put Ryu and Ken on the same team, because then you would basically have the same character-ish, twice. You'd have 2 Shotos on the same team, and
Yeah.
I just don't think that would be fun. But I guess in theme, since there always is the Shoto character, having a team of nothing but Shotos for a Shoto fan to play would kind of make sense. So
Okay, what about Sean? Does Sean play on Team Shoto, or does he play on Team Matsuda, or what is it?
Matsuda for sure.
But who would be
Yeah,
the
Definitely
third
can hang
person?
out with his sister.
Who would be
Okay,
the third
who-
person?
I don't know, man. You're asking the wrong guy. I don't know.
I mean, when you played Street Fighter 2, it said that Blanco is from Brazil. Maybe they're all Brazilians hanging out together?
Yeah, but Dan, Sakura, and Blanca are best
Yeah,
pals. There's
you
no
can't
way
you
to
can't
make
break
them
that team up at all.
I'm just reeling you back in here. I love it. This is great.
I've seen. I'm trying to
Reeling me back
participate.
in.
I'm trying to be one of the guys. I'm trying.
Oh, actually, you know what it would be? What you would probably just want to do is probably put what was it? Oh shoot. Oh, never mind. Okay, I completely lost that thought. Okay, never mind.
What about Dalsum? He's a pacifist, right? Who also is a fantastic fighter. Who would he be paired up with?
maybe Rose and Manat? Kind of on the, you know, the
spiritual side.
yeah, the spiritual good guys or something like that.
Oh,
Be kind of
okay.
interesting. See, like, this is what I mean. Like, this is how my brain goes. Like, I just start thinking about this and I get, like, super excited about these kind of things.
Maybe Dalsum and T-Hawk, huh? Interesting.
Well, T-Hawk, I think... well, they changed the lore on that because originally Juri was supposed to be the girl from his tribe, but I think they changed the lore on that. So, someone said, according to the comics, it would be Sim, Sagat, and Oro. That's a weird one. I don't know anything about the Udon comics, okay?
That is a weird one.
Yeah. Like, you can't put Rose, Manat, and Bison, because Rose and Manat are soul power, which is the exact opposite of psycho power. They're literally antithetical to each other, so... Echo CD is right. My next stream is just gonna be here being like, how would I group these? Dude, I'm 100%
You
doing
should
this.
do that.
I'm 100% doing this as a stream now, dude. I'm
Do it. That would
100%
actually make great YouTube
I'm gonna
content.
take
You gotta make that
every
happen.
Street Fighter character in the
need to
history
get a
of Street
board.
Fighter.
Yes.
And yes,
You need to get like a board to put behind you, James, and you can just, you know.
I'm gonna create a virtual board, dude. Like, and then I'm
Do
gonna
it.
drag it around on stream.
I want to
dude.
see this.
I'm definitely
I would
gonna
watch
do
that.
this, dude. Oh my
That actually
god.
would be
Even
hilarious.
though I'm not interested in lore, I like seeing things. I like to watch people talk about things they're passionate about, even if I don't have any interest. So to see you passionate about it would be way more entertaining than me sitting here
Dude.
going, "Why do I care who Ryu and Ken would fight with?"
So
Yeah, that makes sense.
here's the interesting thing, right? Like, I don't know how many people in the chat are like this too. Like, me and my brother have opined the fact, and I have even thought about going and trying to write this as an app, as a mobile app, where you can just create a list and throw things into groups and lists. And I wanted to call the app the OCD list, is basically what I wanted to call it. I don't know how many people love that, doing this kind of thing like me and my brother do. I don't know if like people would love something like that, you know. Oh man, sort of like a tier maker, yeah. Yeah, data structures the app, basically, yeah. Because my brother does this with a lot of stuff. He does it with music. He does it with movies. I mean, when we used to play with Transformers, we paired up every Transformer with someone else. Like, every Transformer came in a pair. Like, I still remember, like, Sideswipe and Sunstreaker are the obvious ones. You know, I think it was like Blue Streak and Prowl because, you know, they're the same model. But like every Transformer all the way through like Generation 4 and 5, we were making pairs for them. And we had an official spreadsheet not spreadsheet. It was the database program on AppleWorks on our Apple 2GS, where we listed every Transformer in their pairs that we assigned for them. And so, like, I have taken all of the Mega Man weapons and put them into categories of 4. I have, like, this shit is like completely what I am obsessed with, dude.
You should this is your new stream thing. You're welcome.
Absolutely. It should just be a running weekly topic.
Yeah, like one day a week you should be doing this for sure.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely
sure.
agree. Have you guys ever written fanfic?
I absolutely am not that level of nerd.
I
I
have
never will be.
All right, cool guy. What about you, James?
I have never actually written fanfic, but if you ask me if I've come up with backstories for a lot of things or my own explanation of stuff, hell yes. I've never actually sat down. Actually, I did. I wrote fanfic for Romance of the Three Kingdoms one time, a long time ago, because my brother was playing Romance of the Three Kingdoms and goofy shit would happen in his game. And so I would take the shit that happened in his game and write it as a Romance of the Three Kingdoms chapter in the style that the actual books are written. Like, I would intentionally try to write it that way. Every chapter in Romance of the Three Kingdoms ends with a 2-line poem, and I would even put a 2-line poem at the end of it and stuff like that. Yeah, dude, like, I was obsessed with that kind of shit, so...
I've only done 2 things that I would say are fan fiction-y. One is that I went through a phase of being really into classical Chinese poetry, and you can kind of like turn those into fanfics in a little way, just based on how the ways that they're written are a little bit open for interpretation. You can interpret that in interesting ways. And then I also I wrote a whole story for Avatar, for Blue Avatar.
Blue Avatar.
I was super into it. Look, that was
You were into Avatar?
I was super into it.
Bro, we were like adults then.
Okay, here's what happened.
We were adults. You were in your 20s.
I was definitely in my 20s. I was dating this girl I really liked, and then she dumped me. And then the next day, I went to go see Avatar. It just happened to work out like that, and it like meant something to me in a way that I don't think it would have otherwise. It was
no.
It was definitely just like a particular day and time.
Oh
and
no, David.
yeah. I think I went to go see it 5 times in theaters.
You can never call Spielberg a hack again. Spielberg is your favorite.
Dude, Spielberg...
It was just one of those times, dude. You know,
Who
sometimes
the hell...
you see something.
Who the hell out there would ever call Spielberg a hack? Anybody dares call Spielberg
Listen,
a
you
hack,
little sneaky devil.
I will come at you if you call Spielberg a hack, dude.
I will tell you right now, James Chen, that Adam Keats Hart thinks that Steven Spielberg is a hack. And you guys can argue about that next time you see each other.
Oh, man, dude. I'm going to sick my brother on him, dude. Like, I'm literally going to sick my brother, who is the cinephile of cinephiles, and he will explain why Steven Spielberg is not a hack for sure.
Well.
Oh, yeah, Avatar was.
Well. Anyway, I uploaded that story to fanfiction.net, and I'll have you know it got a lot of great feedback. Great positive feedback. So, good job to me.
Good job.
We're moving on. Yep. Thanks, everybody. That's it for the Tuesday show tonight.
That's such a good story. Oh
dear Lord. Okay.
My cheeks are from smiling.
Drop the link. I haven't looked at that since whenever that happened. 10 years, 11 years. It probably still exists unless they delete things. I don't know.
Did you submit it as Ultra David?
I have no idea, actually.
Everybody, Google this right now.
Oh no!
Find it. Find the fan fiction.
It's very plausible that I did. But I really don't remember.
Oh man!
Back when you come up with this username and you don't realize you're gonna eventually become known on the internet, you're just like,
yo, Sir Serpa's already on it. Oh no! And people are gonna find out my old fan fiction. I mean, whatever. It's cool. I used to write and publish more stuff than I do nowadays. It was cool. It was a fun time. All right, let's go on to the next one here. Number 2. Number 2 is number 1. Since the FGC has the reputation of being poverty, what are possible monetization methods developers can try for, either budget, dev side, or pot bonuses, community side, without violating competitive integrity? What are possible monetization methods without violating competitive integrity? I feel like we're already doing a pretty good job of this. And I think a huge part of this
Hang on a second. If anyone does find that fanfic, I will 100% read the whole thing on the stream in beautiful narrative voice
Are you gonna do the voices?
in complete seriousness, and
Yeah,
I will try to
Are
do.
you gonna do the characters' voices though?
I mean, I would have to watch the movie again to remember how they sound, but then yeah.
I think it's actually pretty dark, if I recall correctly. I think there's like people die and stuff. I don't think it's like a happy one.
Oh, okay. Dude, I will read it with no irony, and I think that would be amazing. So.
All right. Well, you let me know if that happens. That
Okay.
would be awesome. So I think that we actually already do a pretty good job of this.
Yeah.
And it's Matcherino. Matcherino is the thing that brings it together, because the stuff that before we're kind of depending on just people entering a lot, right? Getting the actual pot bonus, the pots themselves, right? Trying to raise it up by having a lot of people enter, or having pot bonuses from developers, from rights holders. Those are basically like the two other models that we've done, more or less. And now with Matcherino, we crowdfund pretty well, and regular weekly events are doing hundreds, thousands sometimes, like pretty often.
I mean,
which is great, but I think we are doing it.
But I think that this is specifically for devs, right? What can devs do?
That's one side of this. So what are possible monetization methods developers can try for either budget, dev side, or pot bonuses, community side, without violating? Okay, I guess that's one way to read it, is that it is more about the devs. So the devs, I mean, they are raising money. Well, at least when we had like in person for big pro tours, they were getting sponsors to increase prize pots. Like, it's not just the case that they were putting in their own money. They were trying to recoup that stuff by having sponsors, or they were trying to increase the prize pot by having sponsors. And one thing that's been done a few times that should be done more often, but is great, is selling specific stuff in game that gets to the prize pots, right? That increases the prize pots. So some games have done that, where you buy a certain costume, or you buy a season pass or whatever, and some percentage of that goes to the actual like player pots. That's been great too. Some of those have been really, really successful.
Yeah, I mean the KI one they had for Shago a long time ago raised a ton of money for KI World Cup. So
for sure,
yeah, I think those worked really well.
I mean,
Capcom's done that. NetherRealm's done that. Iron Galaxy did that. / Microsoft, whatever. Yeah, there's a few examples of that for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good ways for them to do that, and I just think it's just going to take a little bit more creative, just to try to create ways to, I mean, for example, like obviously for Street Fighter V, it's been an interesting situation because, you know, they have very specific costumes, whereas something like Tekken has, you know, you could just put stuff crazy together however you want. Akuma in the bathtub with the rubber duck, you know, kind of thing like that, you know. You just kind of want to. I've talked about, for example, having specific win poses that you could, you know, get for like DLC, or making it so that, you know, Ryu throws a beach ball instead of a Hadouken or something like that, just for fun. You know, as long as it's cosmetic, that's the important way to do it, right? We don't want to do it in a way that it affects, like the question said, that it affects the actual gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, we want something that just allows people to either troll or to be... I mean, like, David would 100% probably have bought that Honda Turtle costume if it was, you know, like...
I think I did buy that Honda Turtle
Did you buy it? Oh, okay, there you go.
It wasn't... Yeah, because I had it before... They gave you all the costumes.
Oh, nice. Okay, there you go. So, you know, I think like that's kind of the way that you got to do it, right? It's you don't go for everybody. You try to just go for stuff for those people. Like we talked about it last week with the whole whale model and stuff like that. You know, that's kind of the important way to do it, I think. So.
Yeah, NRS did it. Mentioned that before. I really liked the stuff that they did. What was it? A certain shader in Injustice, if I recall correctly, and in MKX they did it for was it the weird scorpion color? No, I don't remember which one they did it for, or was it Sub-Zero? Anyway, whatever. They did it with some outfits, and it was really successful. Yeah, it really helped.
Yeah, I wish that they would maybe, instead of having certain items that go towards the prize pot, I kind of wish that all DLC for a season had like 5% or whatever of the profits taken out. to give to the prize pot. I think that would give more for the players.
Yeah.
However, I really doubt the devs would go for that.
Well,
Yeah.
it wouldn't
You
be
know?
it wouldn't be the devs so much as the higher ups, right? You'd have to
Right.
convince them that would be worth it. And again, for companies like Capcom, for most of these companies, tournaments come out of advertising budget, right? And that's basically what it is. And so
Yeah.
you'd have to somehow convince them to have this whole entire portion of the profits of a game go like
Yeah.
the reason why they have those support CPT DLC packages that Street Fighter V does have is because it's something that they've crafted specifically for that, and it's thematic to it and all these things like that, and they've planned it out, and corporation red tape and chain of
Well,
commands.
I mean, I think you can still
God.
do those things, and also just take
Yeah.
a small percentage from all DLC and put it towards the pot at the end.
But like I
I think if
said,
they advertised that and told people that that's what they were doing, people would buy more DLC, and it's not limited to something you might not like.
maybe, yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it'll happen. I just think it'd be cool if it did.
Right. Yeah, again, like I said, I think it'd be cool if that happened, but it just comes down to convincing project managers and stuff
Yeah.
like that, in my opinion. So
Yeah, I think Peter makes an interesting point that seems unlikely that Strive can do that because
Costume stuff.
their costumes just. I guess I don't know how it works, right?
It's
Necessarily,
part of
but
the model. It's part of the model itself.
well,
So
it's not
You're not putting clothing on top of a model.
well, I mean, they could change the clothes, but the reason why it's harder to do for them is because every scene is manually posed. So the nice thing about Street Fighter, the reason why you could create custom things is because when you create a custom costume, you create a ribbon on them and you flag it as a certain weight, you flag it as a certain effect of gravity, and the
Right.
physics take over for it. Guilty Gear doesn't have that ability because everything is posed exactly in every angle. So for every costume they make, they're essentially having to make a completely brand new character again for every pose to make sure the costume looks right. So it's a little bit kind of tougher that way. You know what I mean?
That's what I meant by the costume as part of
Yeah.
the model. Like you can't separate that. So yeah, you have to redo the complete animation.
Right. But I think that's why they created the lobby system that they did. Right? You know what I mean? Because you can definitely customize those pixelized icons. And like I said, I like the idea of that because I would like to have that as stuff that you can bet against each other, for like grudge matches and stuff like that. And I think that would be really fun. But unfortunately, the lobby is implemented very poorly, and everybody hates it.
indeed.
Well, we got the game delayed, so hopefully they fix it.
Sir Serpa thinks that my fan fiction is titled, somebody's name on there, I guess, is Avatar, Setting Fire to My Fart by Lovely Idiot.
Nailed it. There it is.
I mean,
You got it. You got me. Oh, no.
I'm surprised that isn't yours, dude. Oh, man.
I don't think it was titled anything like that. I mean, again, my memory of it is that it's not funny and that it's like quite dark, but
Very serious.
I don't really remember that super
There's
well.
definitely a love story in there that doesn't work out.
It seems very plausible. I don't remember though.
Or maybe it does work out because you were trying to write what you wanted to happen.
Yeah,
Dude,
at that
that's
time.
totally. I can see that actually.
Except there's a character in there that's the name of the girlfriend that dumped you, and she definitely dies. She definitely gets killed in the most tragic way possible. So,
Nah, I didn't hate her. I was bummed, but I wasn't out there to be mad. All right. Let's move on to the next stuff. We're out of here. Enough about my weird history. I can't believe you guys brought up fan fiction for no reason. And then I had to, unfortunately, tell my story. You kept prodding me to, and I finally did.
Yeah, we definitely.
That's my memory
Get
of
out
it.
of here.
Anyway. Yeah, you got it. Congratulations, everybody. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next topic.
so great.
Let's talk about KOF 15. Yuri is in the game.
no
What do you
surprise.
think about the trailer? What do you think about her team or whatever? I don't know. Is
Well,
she
that's the
on the
thing.
team? knows?
We had Joe and then Andy, so everyone was expecting Terry. And then everyone was thinking, or they could try to throw us off and put Mai on the team instead and put Terry on it. And then Yuri came out and all of us were like, what? So she's not on the team officially. And we weren't even sure if we were going to get a trailer because the previous trailer didn't say see you next week like all the other trailers did. But they did reveal one and it was Yuri. So obviously they're releasing them in whatever order they feel like. And we can't expect them to be in team orders or anything like that. I mean, I used Yuri when I tried to play KOF 13 and 14. I have no attachment to Yuri. I only liked her because of how she played in CVS. And so like I was like, well, she's a character I know of, so I'll play her like I chose. That's why I played Benimaru on my team for KOF 13 and 14 as well, because I liked playing A-Groove Benimaru in CVS too. She looks way too anime for me in that game. I don't know. It's creepy and weird for me, but like, I don't know. She looks kind of bizarre to me, but at the same time, it's interesting. She doesn't look particularly revelatorily changed. You know what I mean? She seems pretty faithful to what Yuri is. So, yeah.
The only thing that stood out to me about that trailer is that in the beginning part of it, they like go through the stage a little bit. And I thought that was cool because stages in previous KOF games are super good.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's like one of the things that they do super well historically is having cool looking stages. And the other stages that I've seen so far, like if you look at them closely, they kind of look interesting, but they didn't like go through the stage in the same way.
Right.
And I like that. I think that was a cool little beginning part.
One of the stages is Southtown Beach, which is huge for a lot of the Fatal Fury fans out there and just, the lore heads out there because, it's referencing old backgrounds and all things like that. Southtown Beach has definitely been a background before. And that one, the new one that you mentioned is the Pow Pow Cafe, which two of the Fatal Fury characters apparently work at. One of them being Bob from like Fatal Fury 1, and so he's in the background, like he's clearly in the background, but all of the cafe also has the masks that seem to reference the World Heroes mask guy, or something like that. So yeah, it's interesting.
Hey, thank you to Antiparticle for gifting a sub to Sir Serpa, and then also thanks to Sir Serpa for gifting a sub out to Grokthar93.
Nice. Okay. Wait, someone said that they found an author Ultra in 2010s.
That seems like it could be me. Yeah, I don't know.
Because that was your Xbox Live account, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was.
It seems very plausible.
He wrote 4 stories.
I wrote 4 stories? I don't remember writing 4 stories. I mean, again, maybe
4 stories, David?
I don't think I wrote 4 stories, but again, it was a long time ago at this point. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, check them out. Maybe it's me. I really am not sure.
Oh, man. The internet never forgets, man.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty cool, actually. All right, so next thing. In Them's Fightin' Herd, so Shanty is going to be coming out on March 25th. They have version 2.0 of TFH coming out on March 25th, in fact. Shanty the Goat. And they showed this character off, I feel like half a year ago, maybe longer than that. But she wasn't done. At that time, she looked super cool. She's a run character. She's got all this like funky mix-up, dodge stuff going on. Really interesting, unusual looking character. She looks really cool. They're also going to be adding native Linux support. They'll have Mac support as well.
That's cool.
That's going to be on March 25th. Yeah, I think that's super sick. That game's awesome. I highly recommend that people check it out.
David?
What?
Please go to the link and let us...
What, is it me?
Let us know if this looks familiar to you at all.
I'm looking at it. The timeline fits. Joined January 5th, 2010.
The timeline fits.
Timeline fits, dude.
Author has written 4 stories.
There's a poem. You were talking about how you're really into poems earlier.
I used to write, yeah, a lot. I really don't remember. Again, it seems plausible, but I'm not sure. I'll read through it. Maybe it reminds me, but cool. Now I'm excited to check it out.
People are not going to let this go, right? So you're going to have to read this and we're going to have to find out.
I will definitely check it out, dude. I'm excited. I just don't know if it's me. I'm not sure if any of it's gonna jog the memory either. I guess we'll see.
Oh man. Okay.
That's Jake. That's Jake. If that body dies, Jake is dead.
Oh, are you reading it? Is it
that's
weird?
just a little excerpt from the We Are Human preview.
Well, I'm gonna definitely bookmark this right now. Let's
Oh man. Oh boy. I really hope that's yours.
We'll see. I don't remember.
David is looking more red than he normally does on stream right now, so you know.
Oh, I mean, I think this is sick. I'm looking forward to reading it later.
Anyways.
All right, yeah, that's it for Shanty. Again, that's going to be March 25th that version 2 comes out. It's a really good game. She looks like a cool character.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It's cool that, you know, they're getting more characters added in there and everything, so let's keep going with that. I mean, it's cool. It's really cool to see.
Street Fighter 5. Remember those fan vote jury costumes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they're coming out. You bought them, you said? Is that what you just said?
No, I said what about him?
Oh, they're happening.
Oh, okay.
Is what it is. Hey, James, can you go to the run of show?
Do you have the link to them?
Yeah, I have them on there. Yeah. I just wanted to see if you could put both of them up side by side, because you can see what they did with the fan vote originally, and then also on the like final Street Fighter 5 versions.
Okay, let me do
Kind of cool.
Here. Let's go over here. Let me add source.
That's a good idea, Converse.
Okay. So just opening up my browser here, like so. So this is one of them.
Yeah, here's what they did. This is the final product.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I don't know if that was an approval noise or a disgusted noise.
I mean, you know, I don't know.
Yep. There you go.
There's some costumes, and they're coming out. If you like Juri, you can buy them.
I mean, I was hoping that you'd put up the originals. Is what I was.
Where's the originals?
Aren't they there? Did I forget to put them there?
Did you?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, let me see. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So here's the originals. So here's one of the originals. So that's this one right here. So here's the original design, and here's how she looks. And
Yeah,
it's really faithfully represented, isn't it?
I think it's pretty cool. Like, they did a pretty good job.
No, they
I mean, that character, like, as we discussed at the time, that's not actually how Juri, like, stands.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I think it looks pretty faithful, actually.
Yep. You're dang right, Prosody. Definitely still using Winamp. And then the other costume here, which is that one, would be this costume. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's actually really cool to see how well they faithfully recreated these. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you wonder that they would like, oh, we're gonna modify it a little bit because we want to do this or whatever. But no, this is like all the way down to the leggings and the shoes are exactly the same. You know,
good work.
The words written on her coat are exactly the same. Even the little armband is exactly the same. It's actually kind of neat and impressive that they were able to do this.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, we ended up taking more time today than I thought. I didn't realize that.
Way more time, David.
Hot dang! All right, well,
Hurry it up already. Some of us have
Let's
to
get-
work in the morning.
I hear you. I mean, I do too, to be clear.
You're 2 hours behind me, buddy.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Let's get to community news then.
Sure.
So right off the bat, Nairo, we talked about. There's a sort of campaign to unban him from things that he was hoping people would go for. We discussed this, but and again, I'm not really going to take a position on this, but like he may not have done the stuff that he was accused of having done, and if that's true, like he shouldn't probably be banned. So some big Smash things are doing that now. So 2GG and Collision Gaming, two really big Smash event organizers, have lifted bans on him.
Interesting.
They're also Nairo's really hoping that Twitch will unban him as well. That hasn't happened yet. I don't know what the state of that is, but anyway, yeah, that is happening.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be really interesting to see how Twitch responds, because Twitch isn't going to do anything without going as far deep legally as possible, right? They are. Ooh, hi.
Ooh, a cat.
Hi. But they're not going to go in. They're not going to make a decision without like doing everything possible and exhausting all the information. If Twitch comes out and decides to unban Nairo, I guess that they found that there's enough evidence that, you know, he is obviously, if he is guilty, then yeah, keep him banned, and he 100% should stay banned. But if it turns out that, you know, he's more victim than, you know, than the actual assaulter, then, you know, it's a different story. Again, no judgment on what the ruling is from my part, because I don't know enough about it. But Twitch's response to it is going to be the interesting part, because they're not going to do it without any sort of legal investigations and such.
Yep,
Yeah.
sounds right.
I mean, yeah, everything you guys said.
For sure. I don't know what this is, but there's going to be some Grappler Player Meeting. I don't know. It's between Koji Kog, FAB, Kichipamu, and Hayao. So
is Harper included in that too?
Dang. Future member Harper Wong.
Let's go, Harper the Grappler, dude. The
Won't let
Harper.
it happen. I know that Justin's going to be a great father, and he won't let that happen.
The Harper.
boy.
The Harpler, dude. It's all about that.
That will be on March 20th at 8 p.m. Japan time. And again, I don't know what they're going to talk about or like what this is really about, but
It's going to be like,
important
dun,
news.
da, 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 dun, da, 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 da. They're just going to throw pies at each other and get into tiny cars. And
That would be so great. If that was
I
actually
would
right.
actually approve of that.
That would be
that's
genius.
all it's going to be.
I hope that's what it's going to be. Now I'll be disappointed if not. So Carolyn Dow, who has been working at Capcom as on the community side for some years at this point, has announced that she's going to be leaving Capcom. I don't know what's next for her. She didn't say that, but she is going to be out of there. Yeah, I agree with James. Yeah, she's been a really important figure, I think, for the scene to have somebody who is as engaged in the scene as she is. I mean, she was, you know, FGC head way before working for Capcom. It's like a big part of her life. So, yeah, she was a great person to have in that kind of position, naturally. Right? Like, you want to have somebody who's as engaged with the community as she has been. So I don't know who's coming in after or what's happening or anything like that, but I think that's of note. I hope things continue to go well at Capcom.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, one good thing about that probably is now Alex Myers will probably be more allowed to do certain things, you know?
Yeah.
But,
Ooh, that's a really good idea, Fonte, who suggests interviewing her.
oh,
On
that's
this
a good
program.
idea. That's a good idea. Let's see if we can get
I'll
it.
reach out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
I'll reach
obviously,
out.
it's not going to be some expose like, tell us all the dirty secrets,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
We're going to gotcha journalism the shit out of it.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, we just want to interview you about, you know, your relationship with Alex and, you know, your times at Capcom. And then when she shows on here, so tell us everything about, you know. It's,
Oh, no, I don't want to do anything like that.
yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
no.
I'm kidding.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You know, but, you know, obviously it is very sad because, you know, having someone so in touch with the community and, you know, having grown up with it, she was doing organization stuff long before she was with Capcom. And it's one of the reasons why she got the job, you know, so, you know, it's unfortunate, but, you know, whatever she's got planned in the future, if she's got something all lined up and stuff like that, you know, pretty sure she's going to be able to kill whatever it is that she's going into. So
Yeah, I mean, her tweet said that she was on to the next thing already, so
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
that's awesome. I'm glad that she had something lined up, but
Yep.
100%.
will certainly be missed. I do want to see what happens with Alex next, like you said, because he's not going to be tethered to maybe not saying some stuff that he wouldn't, would have maybe gotten his
I'm more concerned about
girlfriend in trouble for,
like,
before.
I don't know anything offhand, but I always wonder, like, would Alex Myers even be allowed to go on to something like Street Fighter League because of his relationship with somebody at Capcom?
Nepotism.
Right? Because, I mean, like, remember when Combo Fiend joined Capcom, he wasn't allowed to enter any more tournaments for any Capcom games and stuff like that, I just wonder if there was any sort of things like that were preventing Alex Myers from entering certain events and stuff like that, which that's what I meant from when I was talking about with Myers, Like I said, I don't know anything. Sure. This is just, again, me knowing companies and me knowing how, red tape works and everything like that. So, yeah.
All right. Shout outs to Bandai Namco for their tweet against the anti-Asian and Asian American hate crimes that are happening way too often nowadays. They had a good tweet on this. So I just wanted to give them props for taking that public stance. Yeah. Good work.
I mean, I can talk about this topic for a long time, but I just,
sure.
I don't. It's obviously a very important topic to me, but I'll save it for another time or one of my own streams, if need be. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. But I just wanted to shout them out. I think that's good.
I mean, people asking. So, just after the outbreak of COVID, a lot of anti-Asian hate crimes have been occurring in our country. In case some people don't know, I don't know if that's what Kyrie means when he asks what happened, but there have just been a giant uptick. Like, there was some old lady who was just shoved down and hit her head on like one of those mail things, and she had to get there was an Asian family that was literally, I think, stabbed or shot at a Costco because some guy thought that they were going to give him COVID. Things like that. Like, that has just been running rampant around the country recently. Yeah. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's almost like we had a president who called it the China virus and wanted to incite violence. It's almost like that happened.
Yeah, sure did.
Absolutely. Like I said.
I don't know this. Are you gonna...
No, I was about to say I could go on about this for a long time, so maybe one of my own streams I'll definitely do that.
Good,
so.
Yeah, I'd love to hear you talk more about it. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what this story is about. Marco Polo has been banned from all SamSho events.
Yeah, so this just came out today. Aru posted this, and through careful investigation and through the talking to a lot of the heads of the SamSho community, they have determined that Marco Polo has exhibited questionable behavior, done a bunch of bad things before. He just got second place in a tournament that he seeded and put everybody he's ever lost to in other pools and stuff like that. And people have done the research and kind of figured this out. He has promised people money in situations where he has never paid out to people. He's also been very hateful to people on some Discords or something like that. But they've just kind of determined that he's not doing good things in the community, and he's running events, and they have basically banned him and will no longer support any of his events. And like I said, this was big investigation thing. A bunch of people dug deep into it, and they've all kind of come together. You can see in the document that Aru tweeted, there's a whole link of everybody who was involved and signed off on it. A lot of community heads like Andy OCR and a lot of other people out there. So basically, and apparently Marco Polo, and again, this is all reading from the doc, so this is not my own personal opinion, but apparently he hasn't really done much to live up to any sort of apologies, or he's just disappeared and just doesn't talk about things, or, there's just not a lot of defense on his part, is basically what it sounds like. So, yeah.
Damn.
Sorry to hear that, but sounds like the right decision.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, there you go. Muckmaster put the tweet into the chat right there, so you can read all about it over there. But apparently, yeah, he's no longer welcome in any of the SamSho events out there. So.
Oh, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
Also, bad news in Brazil. A young player named Genarou has passed away from COVID at age 21. Mortal Kombat player in that scene there who has had success. I mean, that's not the most important thing about this guy, but he was but a talented player and had done well. But again,
21.
super young, 21 years old. That's terrible.
I mean, people.
R.I.P. to Genarou.
Yeah, the COVID deniers out there who are, it's only 1%, 2% rate or whatever. Dude, it's millions of people, man.
It is millions of people, unfortunately.
Yeah, we gotta nip this thing in the bud, dude. So please, again, keep wearing your masks, keep social distancing out there, please, 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 please. It's not over yet, even though we have the vaccine.
Yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel, but we need to get to the end of the tunnel first.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the phrasing. Yep, I think that's right. And then what is the deal with GTA mod?
GTA mod, this has nothing to do with fighting games, but kind of tangentially related when you hear the story. Someone out there figured out a mod to improve loading times for GTA Online. And Rockstar paid him $10,000 and put it into their game officially. It's very similar to like what we saw from the rollback netcode on Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R, right? Yeah. It's very similar to that kind of thing. They're like, oh, you're working. Oh, well, let's just. And what's interesting about this is I think this is starting to set an interesting precedent. Like this is something that I think that companies are going to have to start looking into more. And so if something like the Ultimore patch comes out, maybe with this kind of precedent, obviously this is probably going to happen a lot more with U.S. companies, but that's why it's great that ArcSys did it with Guilty Gear. But maybe, the Japanese companies can start looking into this, and if people can find fixes like that, companies, like maybe there's more of a kind of a law precedent. Maybe this becomes something that people are more familiar with, so there's an easy process to go through it, to just be like, okay, cool, thanks, we'll put it in our official product. Here's a bunch of money. And, it'd be nice if that happened with something like the Ultimore patch, honestly.
It would be.
It would have been.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time. I mean, this is I'm sure longer than that. First time I heard about it was 20 years ago. So this kind of stuff has been happening. It's just, unfortunately, one significant example in our particular scene went the opposite way
Right.
with the Ultimore patch.
Yeah, sure did.
Bummer.
Yeah,
Bummer.
basically. Womp womp.
Okay, all right. We had some tournaments that you wanted to talk about. Look, there's actually a lot of stuff here. If you can go through this in 2 minutes, that's cool. But
there's also
we should get out of here also.
There's also one more thing that I forgot to add to this as well. I'll just add it to here, and we'll talk about it real quick. There was a Smash World Tour tournament. So remember, the Smash World Tour was announced last year, but it was canceled due to COVID and all that stuff like that. But they finally had their first event here. It looks like it was a Mexico qualifier that you have written down here, and it was almost 350 players signed up for this, and it was not won by MK Leo. MK Leo actually got second place, and Spargo with Cloud took first place.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. These other tournaments here, I know Doc Fugu, aka Fugu Tabete, I think, is in the chat, sent me all this information, but a couple of really, really big tournaments happened in Japan recently. So the Shinobism Tokyo Offline Party number 4 took place. There was 107 teams. So like 321 competitors in there, and like the team of Itsuki, Itazan, and Akira won that tournament. Second place, for example, was Waiichi Mochi, Gachikun, Santaru. Third place was Kichipa, Oitajin, and Naun. And some interesting things that happened there. For example, let me see here. Where was the information here that I had on this? He gave me some information here. Let me see if I can find it for you. It's definitely in my messages here. Sorry, I should have had this ahead of time over here. Momochi also had a team. Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't first, second, and third. I was listening. Those were just some of the teams that were there. The winner was actually the Tiger Dojo with Ryusei, Tokido, and Bonchan. That's my bad. Sorry about that. So those were just some of the teams that were there. The winner was Ryusei, Tokido, Bonchan. Second place was Kichipamu, Uitajin, Naon, and third place was Yosan, Nishikin, and Inaba. And Momochi's team, which was himself, Otani, and Machabo, they all played Ryu. They had an all Ryu team. And one funny story that Fugu told me in the message was that Choco Blanca apparently was playing on her team, almost had a reverse OCV to save her team, but they just barely lost. And they asked Momochi if he saw it, and he said he did not. And he says it was super funny because it's kind of on brand for those two. So, also took place this weekend was FAV Cup 2021. It was a 7-person invitational with one person coming in via an online qualifier, which was Nishiken. Sako, Ryusei, Daigo, Tokido, Itazan, Naoman, Gachikun, and Nishiken were the competitors. That was $4,000 prize. This was actually an offline in-person event and was definitely the biggest profile offline event recently. Really good matches, and it was run on PC. Itazan sent Ryusei. Again, this is all information from Fugu, so thank you, Fugu, for all this. I'm just reading what he wrote that he sent to me. Itazan sent Ryusei to losers and then faced him again in grand finals. And Itazan used Zangief against Daigo and Ryusei. And that's why Japan ranks Zangief so high. It isn't because of Zangief, it's because of Itazan. Again, we've talked about
we
this.
all know that one.
Yeah. Ryusei was able to reset and win a close one, though. Itazan has won 5 of the previous 7 FAV Cups. So Sako and Ryusei always joke that they won't allow him to win another. Itazan was joking on Twitter that he had home court advantage, but I guess it wasn't enough. So that was. So
Ryusei won 2 big events.
Yep. That's
and
right.
He won 100 cup noodles, whatever.
100 cup noodles, nice.
As well as.
Well, he looks like he also won an RTX 3060.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there's a.
Yeah, you can sell that for like $700 right now. So pretty good.
Also, this past weekend, if you guys remember, we had Ebonic Plague on here to promote the event that he was putting on, the Grand Ski Rumble.
Grand Ski Rumble.
The Grand Ski Rumble, a.k.a. the Grand Sky Rumble, that was run on the Ronin Rumble channel, Jeff the Hero's channel. And first place was MBK Coach, who took it over Diaphone, a.k.a. Diaphony. And third place was Bisu, and they raised over $1,000, $1,270 on Matcherino for this event. All of the players got paid. They paid every single one of the players that were in the event as a result of that. So shout outs to a really successful event. Of course, a big collaborative event streamed on Ronin Rumble using Tong Never Sleep servers, all organized by Mr. Ebonic Plague himself. So shout outs to them. And I was able to watch a lot of that, and, all of my preconceived, ideas, Soares is bad and all these other things, but I definitely saw some Soares doing damage in the tournament and such. And it was really cool to see, and really happy for that scene.
All right, cool. Well, we're not going to get to the mailbag today. We only got a couple in there, but we'll roll those over to the next episode.
Okay.
And that means that we are good for the night.
Well,
sorry about my internet.
Did you want to talk about the bionic arm thing? So being 10 years old.
I mean, whatever. I just wanted to say that it has been 10 years since that moment happened.
Is that crazy, dude?
We're old.
It's that whole thing. It's that whole thing of like, this is what we think fighting games 20 years ago looked like, but this is what fighting games actually looked like 20 years ago, man.
Yeah, on the one hand, it doesn't feel like 10 years ago, but on the one hand, it definitely feels like 10 years ago.
Right. So. Like someone just said on my stream, like, yeah, Injustice 1 was released like 8 years ago, dude. Like, that's crazy, dude. It's crazy how fast time flies, so.
Yeah, pretty soon we'll all be in the retirement home. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys all in the Saskatchewan Climate Refugee Camp in 2050. We'll have a blast out there. Make sure to bring your stick. if we still have electricity.
Yeah, I mean, by that point in time, our reflexes might not be as fast, so we might not be as good at fighting games, so we'll spend a lot of the extra time writing more Avatar fan fiction, so I think that'll be the right way to go.
Oh yeah, I
So-
gotta read this. I'm excited to see if any of it sounds familiar.
Oh, man.
All right,
All right.
let's skedaddle.
Bird 'em.
Bird 'em.
All right, thanks guys for watching. Thanks guys for hanging out. I didn't have the bird ready to go. Sorry, that's my bad, but there we go. There you go.
The Saskatchewan one is gonna be hot. You know, other people are gonna be up there in the Arctic. The Nunavut one's gonna be a little bit cooler, but you know, eventually that one will get hot too.